Any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Bucks are bringing in a veteran NBA championship-winning coach. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting they've agreed with ESPN NBA analyst Doc Rivers to make him their new head coach. Following the firing of Adrian Griffin, Rivers did emerge as its top target for Milwaukee, explains Woj.
I'm not sure any coach checks every box for you. There's very few of those. But Doc Rivers, in terms of his track record, has coached a lot of star players, and a coach who they believe gives them a presence that will command the respect of not just their star players, but those in the locker room.
Adrian Wojnarowski on Carlin versus Joe. USA Basketball Executive Director Grant Hill said Draymond Green was left out of the player pool for this summer's Olympics because of his Warriors suspension, which was related to his on-court actions. The Dolphins and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio mutually agreed to part ways. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler report Fangio will now be the top target for the Eagles' vacant DC position, and a deal is expected.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you if Lamar Jackson needs to win the Super Bowl to quiet all the doubters. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Used to. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Brian Kelly's finished out his coaching staff.
Hump day.
Might be adding an off-field staffer.
It's hump day.
A familiar name.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No surprise if you listen to this show. I told you the name 2 weeks ago.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Saints going to interview a Steelers assistant.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Bourbon Dictionary.
Hump day.
We got mock drafts.
It's hump day.
We got Gordon McKernan in studio.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
G team expanding.
Hump day.
Talk about it.
It's hump day.
All right, y'all, let's get rolling. A lot to do today, and glad to have you aboard with us. A lot of meat on the bone, but let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, well, one day after LSU reportedly promoted Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton to be the co-offensive coordinators, something we've obviously been talking about for a while now. Brian Kelly has also reportedly filled out his coaching staff. Matt Zenitz, I believe, was the first to have it earlier today that Slade Nagle will be LSU's tight ends coach. Again, that shouldn't be any surprise. We've been telling you Slade Nagle's name. It's like the worst kept secret in Baton Rouge, these staff hires. You know what's weird? And I'll talk about Slade Nagle and the addition and what it means and Brian Kelly's staff, because I do have some takeaways. But the only strange thing about this, about adding Slade Nagle, it's not even strange that they're adding Slade Nagle. The only strange thing about this cycle is all of these hires are things like we knew and we've talked about for weeks here. Like I told you for weeks, they were trending toward co-offensive coordinators with Sloan and Hankton. I've told you for weeks that Slade Nagle and John McNulty were the only two names I'd heard for tight ends coach. We told you for weeks about the Corey Raymond stuff. I mean, the point is, all of this stuff that happened, we've talked about. It was like the worst kept secret, but it just took them a really long time to get around to formally announcing it. And with respect to the co-OCs and Slade Nagle, they still haven't announced that. So it's almost just like, why? And look, it's Brian Kelly's prerogative how he wants to put this out there. I mean, I'll remind you, a year ago, the Brian Polian news, we didn't learn Brian Polian was leaving staff until February 21st. It was after the February signing day. So I don't know why they're putting this off and taking their time to make these announcements, but everything we have talked about and anticipated would happen has happened. The only thing it kind of gives you pause. You're like, when it sounds like it's done and then there's no announcement, you start to wonder, well, is it really done? Is something else going on? But anyway, so Slade Nagle is going to be LSU's new tight ends coach. The last 8 years at Tulane as tight ends coach, and then this past year as offensive coordinator. Willie Fritz left to take the job at Houston. Slade Nagle was the interim head coach for Tulane in the bowl game, and did not go with Fritz to Houston. So a little bit of the thumbnail on Slade Nagle, if you're not familiar. He's from Lake Charles. Went to McNeese, actually played football at McNeese, and sort of bounced around in his coaching career. He did a one-year stint at LSU. He coached special teams at LSU in 2009. But aside from that, he bounced around at points in between before landing at Tulane, where he's been for the last 8 years, and now is headed back to LSU. I love this hire. And while there's a lot of places in college football where the tight ends coach may not be a big deal, I mean, that's one of those jobs where at some places you don't have a tight ends coach. Like it's a shared responsibility. Like the offensive line coach also coaches the tight ends. I mean, or you're the tight ends coach / special teams coordinator. You know what I mean? It's not a standalone thing. But on Brian Kelly's staff, tight ends coach matters. So important so that his last offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, was also the tight ends coach. I know I've given you this number before, but in Brian Kelly's time at Notre Dame, he had 8 tight ends drafted. I'll put some perspective on that. LSU, to find 8 tight ends drafted, you have to go all the way back to Brian Kinchin in 1988. Here are the last 8 tight ends LSU had drafted. Foster Morrow in 2019, Keith Zinger in 2008. Think about that. Just from now back to 2008, you've had 2 tight ends drafted. Robert Royal in 2002. You got to go back 21 years to find 3 tight ends drafted. David LaFleur and Nicky Savoie both in 97. You had Bishop in 94, Halliburton in 90, and then Kinchin in 88. That's the last 8 tight ends that LSU's had drafted. Brian Kelly had 8 tight ends drafted during his time at Notre Dame. Okay, so suffice to say, tight end is a really important position in Brian Kelly's offense and what he wants to do. So having a tight ends coach matters very much. Your tight end room is stacked, the room that Slade Nagle is inheriting. Mason Taylor's back for his 3rd year at LSU.
Mason Taylor!
And, of course, last year you signed the great tight end class with Mac Markway, Kamorian Pimpton, Jackson McGowan, who McGowan is now transferred to Wisconsin. I think he just saw the writing on the wall, really stacked room, and he was going to get a better opportunity somewhere else. And then you're bringing in Trey'Dez Green as well from Zachary, one of the top players in the state of Louisiana this year. So those 4 tight ends right there are an incredibly talented room that Slade Nagle is going to inherit. And he's also got a reputation as a really good recruiter. So all the boxes this checks. My one gigantic question remaining now that the coaching staff is complete is, what are you going to do about special teams? That lingers. You were awful 2 years ago. You were marginally better this year, and you still have not brought on a full-time special teams coordinator. So the assumption is you're going to divvy up the duties again, just like you've been doing the past couple of years, and that has not worked well for you. So I guess it's hard to give anyone the benefit of the doubt here because it's been so bad the last 2 years that I don't know why we realistically believe it's going to be different. What's the old saying? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's my giant question here is special teams, what do you do? But now with this staff completed, the on-field assistants anyway, when you look at it in total, there is a very obvious commonality among every member of this staff. Every single one of them is from Louisiana or is coached in Louisiana. Seriously. Joe Sloan, 9 years at Louisiana Tech before spending the last two at LSU, going his third year at LSU. Cortez Hankton, from New Orleans. Frank Wilson, from New Orleans, coach at LSU, head coach at McNeese, back at LSU. Brad Davis, from Baton Rouge. Slade Nagle, from Lake Charles, coach at McNeese, coach at LSU, coach at Tulane. Blake Baker had previously been at LSU. Bo Davis played at LSU. Corey Raymond played at LSU. Kevin Peoples, who many don't know, but previously had spent time at LSU at Tulane, Northwestern State. Jake Olson was on staff at LSU before Blake Baker, for a year before he went to Missouri with Blake Baker, and now back again. Every single one of your assistants is from Louisiana or is coached in this state, or both. I say this all the time. You're probably sick of hearing me say it, and you're going to finish the sentence before I get it out. The greatest advantage that LSU has, the single greatest advantage that LSU has is the dirt. You are the only Power 5 in a talent-rich state. Nick Saban showed you the way more than 20 years ago. Put a fence around the state, recruit the best players in this state, and you can win national championships. That's why the last 3 coaches at LSU have won national championships, and why Brian Kelly is trying to become the 4th. It might have taken him 2 years to figure it out, but he figured it out because you don't see any lingerings of Brian Polian or Kerry Cooks or any of the guys that Kelly brought with him here. He has conceded. He has delegated to say, hey, Frank Wilson, Scott Woodward, Verge Osbury, help me build a staff here that's going to bring the best players here that are also guys that know how to coach their positions. Okay. And this is what you have. 10 guys, every single one of them from Louisiana, played at LSU, coached in Louisiana, some combination thereof. I love it. I love what they've done because the undeniable truth is in college football, you can have great coaches, but if you don't have players, you cannot win a national championship. That's why LSU's not close right now. That's why you just had a Heisman Trophy winner on offense, the number 1 offense in the country, and you played the ReliaQuest Bowl because their defense was made up of a bunch of guys that will never play on Sundays. They're about to fix that. Slade Nagle, LSU's tight ends coach. By the way, I also told you weeks ago that there was a bunch of smoke around Austin Thomas, and honestly, I don't know why this took this long, but Will Redmond, LSU's director of player personnel, it was announced this morning, is taking a similar job at Auburn, and when I saw that, I started making more phone calls, and I was told Austin Thomas is in Baton Rouge today over at Football Ops and is, I don't know if he's interviewing or if he's getting the job or whatever, but there was a ton of smoke around this about 2 weeks ago, and then it got really quiet, but now with the Will Redmond news, with him leaving for Auburn, it sure seems like Austin Thomas is about to do his 3rd tour at LSU. He spent the last couple of years at Ole Miss. It's another guy who was here when Brian Kelly was hired and was let go. And it looks like he might be finding his way back to Baton Rouge for the 3rd time. So nothing official there at all, but But we'll keep you posted if and when we know something. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. Hey, tomorrow, Lady Tigers against the Gamecocks out at the Maravich Center. If you're getting by, make sure you grab the Bud Light National Championship bottles of Bud Light there at the Maravich Center, or wherever you're going to be watching the game. Make sure you're celebrating and watching the game with some ice-cold Bud Light, and grab those commemorative bottles, the 16-ounce aluminum bottles with the LSU Women's Basketball National Championship logo. You'll find them. We'll be at Pluckers, so we're doing a game watch party tomorrow. If you're not going to be in the Maravich Center, you want to hang out, as soon as I get off air, I'm jetting over to Pluckers on Nicholson. Pluckers on Nicholson, just south of campus. We'll watch the game. I got tons of swag. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, Hudco hats. We'll have the Bud Light National Championship koozies that you see right here on the set. We'll have plenty of those to give away as well. So eat wings, drink beer. We'll hang out, drink some Bud Lights, and we'll watch LSU and UConn, the women's basketball game tomorrow over at Pluckers. Drink easy with Bud Light. Okay, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. Every passing day, seemingly, there's another name on the list for Saints offensive coordinator, and there's another one today, another assistant who is the Saints will formally interview, and I do have some thoughts on it. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Hey, look, I know it's raining today, so it's not necessarily the best day to be out in the yard, but that freeze from the past couple of weeks has passed. It is time to get in the yard and just plant something. You might think, Matt, we know it's going to be cold again. You're probably right. It's Louisiana, and it's January. We're going to have other cold snaps, no doubt. But this is the time of year, if you're thinking about planting trees and shrubs, that you want to get those trees in the ground. You want a fruit tree that your family will enjoy for generations? Get it in the ground now. And Clegg's, they get shipments arriving almost daily. So get on by and see. They've got Johnny Naylor's seeds as well. If you're a green thumb, you know about Johnny Naylor's seeds. They're the best. They got them at Clegg's Nursery. So get by any of the 4 locations. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like Hudco, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink are a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A nice win for the Pels last night. Franchise record, 153 points scored. Next up, the Western Conference leading Oklahoma City Thunder. That'll be on Friday down at the SKC. We'll talk a little more about last night coming up in the next hour. Busy few days on the hardwood. Pels beat the Jazz last night, score 153 points. Great night by C.J. McCollum, scored 33. LSU basketball tonight. They're on the road at Georgia. This is one where Georgia, first year under Mike White, is playing much better basketball, and it's going to be a really tough challenge for LSU going on the road. It's a 5:30 Central tip because obviously they're on the East Coast, so it's a 5:30 Central tip. So that game's going to tip while we're on the air about 2 hours from right now. Georgia, a 4.5-point favorite in that one. And then, of course, tomorrow is the big one, Thursday, LSU, South Carolina, the women's basketball team. When did you ever think we'd say that? I just talked about the Pels, who are 5th in the Western Conference, LSU men's basketball, and I said the big one is LSU women. I mean, it speaks to what Kim Mulkey has built in a very short amount of time. Top 10 matchup, number 1 South Carolina coming to the Maravich Center to take on Kim Mulkey and the LSU women's basketball team. Again, if you can't be there at the Maravich Center, we will be at Pluckers. So as soon as I end the show tomorrow, I'm jetting right over to Pluckers on Nicholson. So maybe you're going to hang out at the Fan Fest and all the stuff around the Maravich Center before the game, but don't have a ticket to get in. Come hang out with us at Pluckers, eat some wings, drink some beers. I'll have tons of swag, 104.5 ESPN hats, Hudco Roofing, Hudco hats. I have tons of. I went to stop by Mockler today. They gave me a ton. They gave me a giant bag full of koozies. These LSU Women's Basketball National Championship koozies that I have on the set. So we'll eat wings, drink beer, and hopefully cheer the Tigers on to victory tomorrow at Pluckers. So all throughout this week, really ever since the Saints fired Pete Carmichael Jr., we've heard the list of candidates, at the formal candidate list, and we've talked about each of them as they've come up. So there's another name today, and seemingly every day it's a new name. On Tuesday it was Gerard Johnson, the quarterback's coach from the Houston Texans. And there's been some scuttle around names that haven't been formally interviewed. John Gruden, remember we're talking about Chip Kelly. So some like rumors out there. But as far as formal requests for interviews, the Saints are now up to 8, and the 8th is Mike Sullivan. So Ian Rappaport had it earlier today. The Saints have scheduled an interview with Mike Sullivan, who's the Steelers' quarterback's coach. Earlier this year, Matt Canada was fired as the Steelers' offensive coordinator, and Sullivan took over play-calling duties for Canada when he was fired. For what it's worth, Sullivan's 56 years old. He's kind of a coaching lifer. He did a stint in college, but he's also spent a long time in the NFL. He previously was the offensive coordinator for the Bucs in 2012 and 2013. Previously the offensive coordinator for the Giants as well. So he's got NFL offensive coordinator experience. But this is the antithesis of the type of hire that I'm hoping the Saints will make. But there's a deeper layer to the Mike Sullivan conversation. So Sullivan is close to Derek Carr. When Carr was coming out of Fresno and preparing for the NFL draft, Mike Sullivan worked with him. And when David Carr, Derek's older brother, was with the Giants later in his career, Mike Sullivan coached David Carr. So he coached David Carr with the Giants and then worked with Derek Carr as he was getting ready for the draft. So you have a tie here to Derek Carr. And this is my concern. Whenever there's a head coach or coordinator position open, generally optimism abounds, right? The thought, the hope, the promise of something new and doing something great, it breeds optimism and excitement and energy. This is the thing, though, that I fear with respect to how the Saints may go about making this hire. We've talked about John Gruden, and why would John Gruden make sense? Because Derek Carr had his best seasons with the Raiders when Gruden was there. Although we've peeled back the layers of the onion. They moved the ball. They got a lot of yards. They didn't score a lot of points. That was the birth, the genesis of Derek Carr's red zone issues, which persist today. And then Sullivan, again, I just explained his ties to Carr. So the Saints continue to dig deeper in their support of a lemon. They continue to dig in their heels and build this case for Derek Carr. And I understand to this end, you have guaranteed Derek Carr $100 million. Everybody has a boss. And Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen have to answer to Gail Benson because she's going to pay Derek Carr $100 million. Guaranteed. He's getting $100 million. They got to find a way to get a return on that investment. So to that end, I get it. It's like a business owner who is beholden to his shareholders, who has to go show quarterly earnings reports and has to show a profit. Well, you better do every damn thing you can to make that bottom line look good. And it feels like that's where the Saints are right now with Derek Carr. They're doing everything they can to make that bottom line look good. To where they can say, well, look, that last month of the season, Derek Carr, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. They won 4 of their last 5 games. See, it's an upward trajectory. Let's give Derek Carr what he needs. Let's get a receiver. Let's get an offensive coordinator that knows Derek Carr. He'll keep getting better. Except we already know the final chapter of this story. Like, we've seen this movie. Derek Carr is 10 years into his NFL career. You don't need me to say it again. He's 10 years into his NFL career. We know what and who he is. He is, at best, a mid-tier NFL quarterback. I said it all last year leading up to the season, and it wasn't just me saying it. Every single objective metric we could find, every single data point, every list, every PFF list, everything you could find, everything said the exact same thing. Objective and subjective, Derek Carr, mid-tier NFL quarterback. Yet you keep hoping he's more than what he is. You keep hoping he's more than what he is. It's like, you ever had this happen? You ever have like a restaurant that you really like and it closes? And the food's great and you love it and you can't understand why it closes. You ever had that happen? Like somewhere in your neighborhood or whatever? I mean, it happens all the time. And it happens for a variety of different reasons. Could be the location. Maybe you're just on the wrong side of the street. Could be that your competition. You have competition nearby, and even though your food's great, everyone knows that one, so they go there. Maybe you just market it poorly. Maybe you just got bad management that doesn't manage the books. And so what should be a thriving business fails because it's poorly managed. It happens all the time in business. It feels like that's where the Saints are with Derek Carr. But at some point, you've got to cut your losses and realize, man, we are hemorrhaging money. It is time to just, Kevin O'Leary and Shark Tank, take it out back and shoot it. I'm not saying shoot Derek Carr. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm talking about a business concept in this respect. I'm just drawing an analogy, okay? But you got to know when to cut bait and say it's not worth it anymore. But the Saints keep on investing resources, seemingly, into Derek Carr because they're trying to get a return on that investment. And it just doesn't look like it's coming. So when I see the Saints are going to interview Mike Sullivan, who's a 56-year-old, who's been an OC in the NFL, who was by the way, you want to talk about quarterback? He's the quarterback coach of the Steelers. He's had Kenny Pickett. So far into this point in his career, Kenny Pickett, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions with him as his quarterback coach. By contrast, look at the conversation we had yesterday talking about the job Gerard Johnson has done with rookie C.J. Stroud. Is it all on the quarterback's coach? Not exactly. You got to have talent as well. But tell me the thing that Mike Sullivan has done that would warrant this job and the Saints saying, you know what? We just fired Pete Carmichael. We feel like this is really a make-or-break type year. That's the guy I want. I don't get it. My hope is this is just due diligence and nothing more. This is the Saints overturning every rock, every stone, just to make sure. Hey, let's call him in for a conversation, just to be sure. But it is so obvious. You have a long list of guys that are either from the Shanahan or McVay tree, and you have a short list of guys with connections to Derek Carr. And that's who they're going after. Which side of the ledger will it be? Will it be the young, innovative offensive minds that are showing a very clear shift in how the NFL and NFL offenses are trending? Or will it be an old guard hire to placate Derek Carr? We'll find out soon enough. Mike Sullivan, the latest to interview for the Saints OC job. Okay, y'all. It's after further review. Mardi Gras is right around the bend. Attraction has their Mardi Gras camps coming up. Mardi Gras baseball and Mardi Gras speed camps. So if your son or daughter is going to be off of school for Mardi Gras, which, I mean, of course they will, and you're looking for something for them to do, get them over to Traction, full and half-day options. You go to tractionsports.com, tractionsports.com to learn more. Again, the speed camp and the baseball camp, Mardi Gras week, it's February 14th through the 16th. That's Wednesday to Friday. You can register right now at tractionsports.com, tractionsports.com. 9 to noon, Wednesday to Friday for the speed camp. Sprint mechanics, acceleration training, power development, strength training for speed, conditioning, all that stuff, ages 8 and up. You can learn more, register today at tractionsports.com, tractionsports.com. Traction, where champions are made. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC here in just a smidge. Also, Kalen DeBoer was a guest on the Pat McAfee show. A couple of things. We'll actually talk a little football about Kalen DeBoer instead of just laughing at Alabama, although I do really enjoy laughing at Alabama, and they just keep giving me more and more reason to do so. But we'll let you hear from the new Alabama coach, Taylor Calandro, a little Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes from right now. Gordon McKernan in hour number 3. We'll talk some NIL with G here in studio. We're looking forward to that. All right, glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. All right, 2 things to remind you tonight and every Wednesday, trivia. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. That's tonight and every Wednesday for trivia. But the big night is tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday's all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites, but Thursday, LSU, South Carolina, women's basketball, top 10 matchup. We're going to have a watch party over at Pluckers on Nicholson, so y'all come hang out. As soon as the show ends, I'm jetting over to Pluckers on Nicholson, and we'll look for you there. Come watch the game, cheer on the Tigers, eat some wings, all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites on Thursday. Have some ice-cold draft beer. I'll have tons of swag, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge swag, Hudco hats. I'll have koozies from Bud Light, the LSU Women's National Championship koozies. We'll look for you there. LSU South Carolina watch party tomorrow at Pluckers on Nicholson. We'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, the Bammers are still after me, Muse. And I just can't quit them, man. I just can't. They can't quit me, and I can't quit messing with them.
Is that like one of those go together kind of like oil and water type things, or?
I don't know. Oh, man. They're just flooding my Twitter mentions every day. And I'm sure they think that, like, they're getting me.
Yeah.
But all they're doing is just feeding me to do more, like, to continue to do more. Did you see what our buddy Ryan Fowler did?
No, I don't even know who Ryan Fowler is.
Okay. All right, so Ryan Fowler does afternoon drive in Tuscaloosa.
Oh.
He's now Ryan's a Bammer now.
Okay.
And I like Ryan a lot. Like, personally. I've known Ryan from SEC Media Days for years. Big old beard. Big old beard.
Like Jason Kelsey big or Duck Dynasty beard?
Duck Dynasty.
Okay.
Big old beard. Ryan's probably about my age, maybe a couple years older. Great man. I met his wife one year at SEC Media Days. They were going out to dinner. I met, like, great. Been on a show a bunch. Ryan's loud now, and he's a Bammer, okay? But he did go to Bama, to his credit. But he's the definition of the guy who is like the fan who's doing the radio show. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all fans of somebody. I get it. But I can tell you when they stink. And there's a lot of y'all that don't like me because I do sometimes. You know what I mean? Look at our last segment, just talking about Derek Carr. Anyway, so Ryan Fowler has this tweet. Dave Bartu did it again. He just said Kalen DeBoer's new coaching staff is trending to be the highest graded on-field coaching staff in the country. Said last week DeBoer was his top-graded on-field coach in 2023. Bartu in his film Matrix Analytical works for college programs across the country, including 7 of the SEC. Okay. So Dave Bartu has he put together an algorithm of grade coaches. That's basically what it is. And so some Alabama fan quote tweets Ryan Fowler and @s me, @Matt Moscona, deeply saddened. Like, he sees that. And understand, the first thing this guy is thinking of is me.
Is you.
Not celebrating, is me. All right? So I quote tweet him. Again, you're just fueling me. I quote tweet him 2 weeks ago, they celebrated natties. Now they celebrate a computer program telling them they have a good coaching staff. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
And then I did the Jim Carrey gif again.
Got to.
So then, a different Bammer comes and quote tweets me. Matt paid his rent again today. Still due tomorrow, Matthew. What?
I was gonna ask you how many rent-free have you gotten in those mentions? Because that's one of my favorite things.
But here's the problem with it. The metaphor doesn't even make sense because there would be no rent. Like, I would be the landlord, but he'd be living in my head. So he messed up the metaphor.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, again, but that's what happens when you're not very smart. And I may not be a super smart guy, Muse, but the thing that I really excelled at, like I don't math and I don't science, but English, literature, reading comprehension, like that's my strong suit, right? Like that's, I can write and be witty and all that stuff. Like I don't do it here, I'm on air, but that is a strength of mine. Anyway, so your boy dropped that one. I could have let it go, but dude, it was like 11 o'clock last night.
No reason
I'm like,
to do that. No, don't take the low road.
So again, remember, he's doing the rent due metaphor, right?
Yeah.
So I go, oh, a metaphor. Okay, I'll play. You're in foreclosure. They're repossessing everything you own, and soon you'll live in a duplex next to Carl and his 7 cats. Meanwhile, I'm laughing at you every single day. This is fun. That tweet's been viewed 15,000 times, and our Bama friend there didn't reply to me.
Carl's a good guy. I've met him before. He's going to enjoy living next to Carl. Really courteous neighbor.
Carl and his cats.
Yeah,
he keeps the bushes trimmed.
He keeps the bushes trimmed. I mean, look, cats, they're quiet animals as well, so you don't have to worry about that. A duplex, man, you share a wall there. So, I mean.
He doesn't have late night parties.
No late night parties.
No late night bangs. Carl's in his 70s.
Carl's a nice guy, man.
Carl's on the home stretch of life.
Yeah,
he
really is.
He's who you want.
Yeah.
He's on the neighborhood watch.
For sure.
You'll be fine there.
But he's got binoculars.
You've moved out of your palatial estate, and you're now in a duplex next to Carl. Kalen DeBoer was on the Pat McAfee show, and he did talk about having Jalen Milroe to run his offense. That's one big question I have, is that what Kalen DeBoer does offensively, Jalen Milroe's skill set don't fit that.
You know, we were on national TV a lot, enough for them to see what we were doing and be excited about their roles. You know, you talked about Jalen, you talked about the receiving core, and, these guys are fired up about getting those opportunities within this offense. Dylan Johnson was the leading rusher in the Pac-12, and so, all the skill guys, they're fired up, ready to learn the system and continue to grow.
Dylan Johnson, leading rusher in the Pac-12. I'm sure that's going to translate behind a makeshift offensive line. And who's going to be running back for Bama next year?
Not Dylan Johnson.
Not him.
No,
not him.
He's not. He's done.
Who's the other guy that transferred?
Is that Roydell Williams?
Williams is out.
You got to give me a break, man. There's been so many.
You forget the names.
You forget the names. Yeah.
We'll get a list.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com with 18 locations across South Louisiana. You're always near a Shawbills location. Listen, if you need tires, nobody does it better than Shawbills, and no one is going to sell you better tires. Name brand tires at wholesale prices like Shawbills. So get to ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. They'll show you the way. They'll treat you great. If you have questions, they'll answer them. You're never going to feel like you've been taken advantage of with Shawbills. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Go to ShawBillsTire.com to schedule service, to shop tires. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, let's go quickly because we've got Taylor coming up to do a little Bourbon Dictionary. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Auburn Tigers.
Auburn expected to add former LSU Director of Player Personnel Will Redmond as a general manager. Redmond's been at LSU since 2021, was named Football Scoop's Player Personnel Director of the Year in 2022. Redmond's been at Western Michigan, Middle Tennessee, Kansas, LSU, and now Auburn.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss offensive lineman Jeremy James says he's going to return to Ole Miss to play his final season of college football. 6'5", 305-pounder. Started every game this past year for Ole Miss and has played both right tackle and right guard. He started 49 consecutive games for the Rebs over 4 seasons. That's a nice get there for Lane Kiffin returning to Oxford.
Texas A&M!
Offensive tackle Robert Borden is committed to the Aggies. That's 16 high school commits now for Mike Elko. He had been committed to Duke, since June. Obviously, Elko left Duke, got the A&M job. Now he's brought Borden with him. He's the number 557 prospect nationally, the number 44 offensive tackle. I don't think A&M's been signing prospects on the offensive line that are ranked 557 nationally. This has to feel like a bit of a jarring circumstance for them as well. But then again, even with all their highly rated guys, they haven't really won a lot of games.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Vandy baseball freshman Ethan Robinson underwent Tommy John. That'll put him on the shelf for the 2024 season. Vandy is 6 players over the roster limit right now. But remember, injured players don't count against the limit, but Tim Corbin's still got some work to do. On the hardwood, South Carolina rocking chair cover for the Otter last night. Gave you South Carolina. And the Gamecocks at home against Kentucky 79-62 was never in doubt. And then A&M beat Missouri 63-57. Missouri 0-6 in the SEC. Tough start there for the Missouri Tigers. Tonight, LSU's at Georgia, Auburn at Alabama, Florida hosts Mississippi State, and Ole Miss hosts Arkansas. There you have it. That is around the SEC. We'll knock out a quick break. Bourbon Dictionary is next. Don't you move.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Y'all, tomorrow is the day. Excited. The next and newest Rouse's location is going to open up in Lafayette tomorrow. So if you're going to be in Lafayette tomorrow, maybe you listen or know someone who listens to us in the Lafayette area. Tomorrow, the newest Rouse's location, number 69, will open up. Its grand opening on Camellia Boulevard in Lafayette. Doors open at 8 a.m. Very similar to the one on Florida Boulevard a few weeks ago. The first 100 customers will receive a mystery gift card. They'll get free grocery items, a reusable bag. And it was so much fun to be there a couple of weeks ago because, man, it was just buzzing and popping there on Florida Boulevard. And it'll be like that tomorrow at the new Lafayette store. Grand opening tomorrow, Thursday at 8 a.m. on Camellia Boulevard in Lafayette. Of course, Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Get to Rouse's.com. Download the Rouse's app. Rouse's. This feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play. Looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Let's do it. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's here. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. Trying to dodge raindrops, man. It's been nasty today.
It's actually perfect weather to just sit inside, kick up your feet, and enjoy a nice pour.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
No, not right now, but probably when I get home. You would have been so jealous, man. Maybe not jealous, but you would have loved to partake. Saturday, no, forgive me, it was Sunday afternoon. Me and two buddies, we did sort of like a unicorn flight, and my goodness, did we have a hell of a lineup. I'll have to send you a picture, but we had a 17-year Purple Top Willet on our lineup in there.
Oh, how was that?
I mean, stupid good. It was actually a pick from my Sanos in Ocean Springs.
Okay. Yeah.
It was their 17th. Anyway, it was an embarrassment of riches, but it was we had a William LaRue, we had a Stag from this year as well.
Holy! Well, so what was the occasion? Just because? Or
just because we some buddies we tried to get together for a long time, finally made it happen, and so we did that on Sunday. Watched the playoff games and sipped some really good whiskey. You know what else?
Sounds exceptional.
We had one of my buddies brought it was a Four Roses from like 1963.
I haven't had any older Four Roses. Like I've had a lot of Dusties from the 60s and 70s. I've never had any old Four Roses. How was that?
And then another buddy brought a Wild Turkey from like 78 or something like that. Both were horrendous.
Really?
I understand why cocktails exist, because that stuff was awful, and you had to mix it with something.
Was it opened or?
No. They opened it then. It had been completely sealed.
Interesting. I mean, I've had Wild Turkey from the early 90s, late 80s, even like early 80s. Man, it's just so good. Even just like the young stuff, it's really, really good. It's a different color. It's darker, but I haven't had any older Four Roses stuff. That's interesting. Now I'm going to have to search.
It looked like cloudy river water. It was awful. I mean, it was awful.
There must have been some oxidation there or something. That sounds off.
It
doesn't sound right to me.
It was not good. No, it was not good at all. But it was a good experience. It was worth way more closed than it is now.
They generally are, because once you open them, they are absolutely worth it.
I know. All right, but by the way, what's new? We'll get some questions here. What's new?
Not much super new. We got a bunch of like Mardi Gras beers, king cake beers from a few different local breweries, probably 6-7 different king cake and Mardi Gras themed beers. And we have king cakes. I haven't talked about that already. We have tons of king cakes, like 30 different flavors of king cakes. So
very good. Let's get to questions. Jamie Leday said, if you had to pick one Weller that is a must-have, which would it be?
I think I get asked this question once a month, and I probably change my answer because I try them all separately all the time. I would have to go with William LaRue Weller. I have not tried Daniel Weller, and there's a few Wellers I haven't tried. I would go with William LaRue or CYPB, the white label.
Okay, that's interesting. Craig Alamon said, Taylor, my favorite beer is Heineken in cans, not bottles. But not a lot of places carry the cans. Is there another beer in a can that's close to the Heineken taste that I can try?
Oh, man, I hate Heineken beer. It tastes like skunk to me. It's just not for me.
You just punched that guy right in the nose. That was good.
Well, I mean, I just don't like Heineken. I think Rolling Rock comes in cans, and that's similar. I'm just not a big Heineken fan, though. Sorry.
Joshua Abshire, homegrown Boone's bourbon. Brother bought this in Charleston at the oldest liquor store in the U.S. Lady sold him. He said it placed 5th in San Francisco at the bourbon tasting. Have you heard of it? Maybe the next McKenna type hype train. Have you heard of it? Boone's bourbon?
I've heard of Boone's County. I don't know if you're talking about Boone's County.
No, this says homegrown Boone's bourbon.
No, but I'm very interested in this liquor store that he's talking about. That grabbed my attention.
Next time we're in the Colonial area, we'll check it out.
Yeah,
Adam Berthelot said, ask Taylor, do you have any 13th Colony bourbon or rye at Calandro's?
No. I think we've had it in the past couple months. I think it's those short, squatty bottles I'm thinking of. No, we do not have any right now to answer the question.
We're under a minute. I got 2 more to go. Joe Simon said, Chopin vodka. Any opinion?
It's a potato vodka. It is vodka. If you're going for the gluten-free type stuff, it's great. It's a really good potato vodka to answer the question.
Then Jeff said, have you tried 1792 Old Fashioned Mix?
I have not, though. That sounds great. I think we have some on the shelf.
All right.
I haven't tried it.
I've got 5 seconds. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, Matt.
Later, dude. That's Taylor Calandro. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Maybe the lesson here is keep that old bottle unopened, sell it, and then use those funds to go buy a beautiful diamond from Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Corbett Boulevard and Bocage, and then in the Mall of Louisiana, but 10 locations in all across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. In Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. We're online at lmfj.com. Remember, you will always get a gorgeous sparkling diamond. You know, I didn't even know that man-made diamonds were a thing. But what are you really getting with a diamond made in the lab? You want something beautiful that's going to last forever, that you can pass down to your daughter and generations? A beautiful diamond from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. Again, online at lmfj.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Doc Rivers is back in the NBA. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Rivers reached an agreement in principle to take over in Milwaukee. Rivers, an ESPN NBA analyst and NBA championship-winning coach, was the top target of the Bucks after firing Adrian Griffin. It'll be Doc's 5th NBA head coaching job. First Take host, Stephen A. Smith.
On 3 occasions, he's blown a 3-1 lead. In Game 7s, his career record is 6-10 as a coach, and he's lost the last 5 straight. I'm not saying this year has to be the year, but if Doc Rivers doesn't succeed at this job, my prediction is it will be his last as a head coach in the NBA.
Rivers taking over a Bucks team that is second in the Eastern Conference. NFL Dolphins and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio mutually agreed to part ways. He'll now be the top target for the Eagles' vacant D.C. position, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. Chiefs Pro Bowl guard Joe Thuney did not practice today because of a pectoral injury. It's unlikely he plays against the Ravens in Sunday's AFC Championship game.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you if Lamar Jackson needs to win the Super Bowl to quiet all the doubters. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Gordon McKernan will be in studio with us 1 hour from right now. We'll talk some NIL with G. Looking forward to having him in studio. Some hoops talk again later this hour. Pels win. LSU at Georgia about 90 minutes from right now. Some other news, if you're just joining us, Slade Nagle reportedly will be LSU's tight ends coach, something we've talked about for several weeks here. And LSU apparently is closing in on a deal to bring Austin Thomas back to LSU. He's been at Ole Miss the past couple of years there with Lane Kiffin. So a lot going on and here locally in sports. We've got a ton to do here over the next 2 hours. On Monday, we had Kevin Falk here. Yesterday, we spoke to former LSU gymnast Ashley Natt, and they're participating in a panel Monday at an event at the Maravich Center, all centered around mental health. It's Planting Seeds of Hope, and one of our good friends from long ago will be in town participating as well. And it's Brandon Saho from the Mental Game, formerly of WBRZ Television, went home to Cincinnati, and has left his media career to pursue this passion. And Brandon's with us now. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. I keep hearing you say Pluckers. I want to go get some wings now.
Come on down, man. Hey, I know you'll be here on Monday. Like, that's a great – just look, when you're pulling in town, about a mile south of the Maravich Center, before you head on for the event, man, just go binge a little bit. I can get you taken care of. Not a bad idea.
I definitely will. And I used to live right next to that when I was a young WBRZ sports reporter going to bogeys. So I had some good times.
Oh, the days, man. Hey, you're doing. If for those that don't follow Brandon on social media, you're doing like is it 50 states in 50 days or 30 states in 30 days?
30 states in 30 days.
30 states in 30 days, spreading awareness around mental health. One of those states obviously will be Louisiana Monday with this event. Brandon, before we get into Monday, I want to go back, though, for people who don't have the context. Give us the sort of, to whatever degree you can, obviously, the short version of your story, which led you to this point, away from sports media to what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, mental health is something I've always struggled with since I was 14 years old. Didn't really tell anyone, didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it. Had my first suicidal thought at 14, and it came and went throughout life, throughout college, throughout my professional career. I love my job at WBRZ covering LSU, and obviously the dream job for me was to get back home to Cincinnati. I got to cover Joe Burrow and the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. But at that same time, during the Super Bowl run, I was suicidal for about 3 months every day, where I didn't want to be here because I had lost 3 family members in 3 months. The woman I thought I was going to marry, her and I were going through a really toxic breakup, and it was just really, really hard for me to get through life. And so I finally had to check into a hospital for a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl and get help with my mental health, and that kind of started the journey towards recovery. It's not doesn't just go away right away. You got to always work on your mental health, but it led me to a new career, stepping away from the TV world, which is my dream since I was a kid to be a sports reporter. But now I get to combine the two and have mental health and journalism together with the podcast. And it's been a super crazy, wild ride the last couple of years, but it has been a new purpose for me, which I love.
I remember whenever you made the announcement that you were stepping away from media and pursuing this end. And the podcast is The Mental Game for anybody who wants to go check it out wherever you get your podcasts. In these 2 years, Brandon, what has been has the process surprised you at all?
Yeah, it has. I didn't know how bad I was struggling until it got to those moments of the 3 straight months a couple years ago. I mean, I was an alcoholic. I'll hit a year sober here in a week and a half while on tour, which I'm like, that's just crazy to think about. Yeah, thank you. It's just, but no, I didn't know how bad I was struggling, but I also didn't realize, I thought I was alone. And that's what people think all the time when you're struggling with those suicidal thoughts and depression. And I wasn't, when I checked into the hospital and I took, I went to therapy and I had these group therapy classes while I was checked in. You look around the room and there's people from 18 to 85 years old from every background, race, any type of creed. They all have just one thing in common. We're alone, and we feel alone, and we don't want to be here. We're just looking for help. And that's the thing, Matt, is that mental health isn't rocket science. We're just not taught about it. You weren't taught about it. I wasn't taught about it. Our parents weren't taught about it. It should be in schools just like math, science, English. And the fact that we're doing things like planting seeds of hope next Monday at LSU, or that I'm going to talk to all these high schools and colleges, and kids are talking about it. Like, I have high school kids that sound smarter than me and probably are smarter than me, but they're talking about mental health and like going to therapy or what they've seen through their friends. And I mean, the people who saved my life at those hospitals and my therapist, but what they teach isn't rocket science. We're just never taught it. And now it's starting to turn with breaking that stigma these last 2-3 years, I think.
Brandon Saho is with us. The event coming up on Monday at the Maravich Center, 6 o'clock. It's totally free. And I understand also the Burrow Foundation is giving away free canes to the first 500 people. Did I hear that right?
Yes, free canes. So
I love it.
We got any Caniacs in there? Yeah, get a box combo as you walk in.
Hey, you can subscribe up to Brandon's podcast as well, or the YouTube channel, The Mental Game. You can find it there. And when I go through the list of guests you've had, man, both in the sporting world and outside, I mean, some people know Zach Taylor obviously is on there. I mean, Ian Rappaport, but beyond that, man, I saw Terry Crews. You talked to him, Anthony Munoz, Kevin Gates. Has any of this surprised? Like, what was the biggest get that maybe surprised you? How this has come together?
I think for me, like, the biggest get, I guess, is Terry Crews, because he is an A-list Hollywood star. But it happened very organically, where he saw Nate Burleson and I talking about men's mental health and black men's mental health on Instagram, commented keep talking guys, right on with a bunch of fire emojis. And I remember sitting in my living room going, holy cow, Terry Crews just commented on my Instagram randomly. And we connected the dots. And 3 months later, I was sitting in his living room talking about his suicidal thoughts, him checking in to a facility, him battling addiction where he was at the top of his career. And it's like, the reason I have those conversations because I want an LSU fan that sees, Joe Burrow's parents and I sitting down talking about mental health, or a fan of Terry Crews talking about their struggles. They can relate because, like I said, you just feel alone, like you have no one to relate to. So that one for me, I don't really get starstruck because, like you, Matt, you're in the sports world for a long time and you're around those high-level athletes and personalities where you're comfortable interviewing them. But some moments you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Right. And I think Terry Crews, I had about 10 seconds during the middle of the interview as we're comparing our therapy experience. I'm going, am I really sitting in LA with Terry Crews right now talking for an hour?
Oh man. Hey, look, and Monday is the next step. It's of 30 states in 30 days for Brandon Saho. And the event on Monday is it's Planting Seeds of Hope in conjunction with Rain Will Bring Flowers. For those that don't know the story of the Tabor family, a young man who last year tragically committed suicide, and his parents have taken their grief and turned it into something positive to raise awareness for mental health. Can you walk us through just the event, Brandon, on Monday and what that's going to be like?
Yeah, and you mentioned the family. Jordan Tabor and his wife have just been, they are so passionate to be able to help anyone they can because they didn't think they would be in this situation. And for me, as soon as I called him 3 months ago trying to reach out as we were planning the tour, I knew I wanted to come to LSU, and they have helped tremendously with LSU, Our Lady of the Lake, Joe Burrow Foundation, everyone involved. It has been super powerful. But yeah, we want to make it, it's really hard, Matt, sometimes to make mental health fun. I think I've found a way to do it with the celebrity and athlete guests. And so we want to make it impactful, but we want to make it a welcoming environment. And so I'm really excited about it. We're going to have, I believe the mayor's going to be there. We're going to have Our Lady of the Lake, Jordan and his family tell their story to kick things off. I'm going to show clips of my podcast with some of the guests we mentioned, including Kevin Gates, a Baton Rouge native. And so that'll be really cool. I'll tell my story, kind of what I just told you, a little bit more in depth. And then I'm really excited for the guests that we have. Jimmy and Robin Burrow are going to give a presentation about mental health and how it's affected their community over the years and what the foundation's doing now with Joe to be able to give back. I've done an event with Robin before, and she is one of the most powerful presenters I've ever been around when it comes to mental health. And I'm so excited for all the LSU fans in the community to see that. And then we have, the panel discussion with Kevin Falk, Ashley Natt, and Delvin Breaux. And I just think that's going to be a really, really cool thing to be able to ask them questions. I'm going to tee them up, talk about their careers. For me, I know Kevin, I know Delvin, but I was around when Bugs was one of the best gymnasts in the country and going to back-to-back national championships with LSU. And so when I reached out to Jimmy and Robin, everyone was just right away, yes, because they understand that the more we talk about it, especially in a sports environment where you have the athletes that might be coming, the high school teams, just LSU fans in general, it can be a really powerful thing to talk about it around sports. And you're going to get the chance to ask them questions, to interact. And I think it's going to be really, really powerful. And that's what I've noticed throughout the tour so far. We're on day 16. I'm somewhere in Atlanta for tomorrow morning. I was at Clemson this morning, at Auburn tomorrow night. It's been really powerful, these conversations and getting people to open up.
He is Brandon Saho. Check out the Mental Game podcast. Again, the event is coming up on Monday. It's totally free, 6 p.m. As mentioned, the first 500 people are getting free canes, courtesy of the Joe Burrow Foundation. Brandon, I would imagine this is open to all ages. Parents, bring your kids, or if you're a college student, go bring your friend, whatever it may be, right? This is an all ages type audience.
Yeah, it definitely is. I would say probably best for middle school and up. But it's a family affair, it's a team affair. Please, I've heard, Jordan when talking about the event, you don't think it's going to happen to you. And that's what I hear every tour stop, every city. I have parents that come up to me and they tell me about the worst day of their life and how they want to be able to do something to help other families not go through this. And I feel the same way with my struggles when I was suicidal and sitting there at a bridge or writing a goodbye letter. And I just don't want anyone to get like that. And that's why I started the podcast. That's why we're doing this event at LSU. And so please, I promise it will be a very, very beneficial event, and you'll learn something new. And that's the idea. We just want to help people learn about mental health and make the conversation easier for everyone to be able to break that stigma.
Hey, man, looking forward to Monday. It's always great to chat. Safe travels as you traverse the country, man. We'll see you Monday.
Sounds good. Can't wait to get in there, get some Pyrans and Pluckers, baby. I'm ready.
that is Brandon Saho, a noted bogeys goer some decade ago or so. Thanks, man. We'll see you.
Yeah.
All right, be well. That is Brandon Saho. This is After Further Review. We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. Monday, head over to the Maravich Center. The event starts at 6. I'll be a little late. Obviously, we don't get off air till 6, but I'll be driving my Volkswagen Cross Sport over there, the Atlas Cross Sport. If you want the Atlas, the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV, they got it. Cross Sport takes out the third row, a little sleeker, stylish, awesome to drive, so fun to drive. I love it every day when I get behind the wheel of my Volkswagen Atlas from South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They are the best. It's South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. Okay, appreciate Brandon Saho. And you know what? I hope sincerely that this interview series we're doing with Kevin Falk, with Ashley Natt, with Brandon today, I sincerely hope we haven't locked in a time yet. We're trying to get Jay Johnson on. We're also trying to get Delvin Breaux as well. I hope we're able to do that these next couple days. But hopefully this has been beneficial. To even if it's to one person, it's worth doing because of the nature of what we're discussing. So let me knock out a quick break. Come back. Pels win. You know, Graf and JD had a time.
Yeah, you're right!
That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all. Tomorrow is the Napa wine tasting at the Gregory. The Gregory, of course, is the restaurant there in the lobby of the Watermark Hotel downtown. It is a dining experience. I tell you all the time about the Gregory. They have that charcoal oven indoors in the lobby. You walk in and you just smell all the charcoal, all those beautiful flavors and notes just wafting through the lobby. It's incredible. Anyway, tomorrow is the Napa Valley wine tasting at the Gregory downtown. If you want to go, they gave me 3 pair of tickets. I'll give them away today. You got to text me. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Sample exquisite wines from the Napa region and enjoy downtown Baton Rouge. Remember, when you go to the Gregory, it's complimentary valet parking, so don't worry about parking downtown. It's the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
He's a guy that can present some matchup problems because they'll play him at the wing position, but then they'll also slide him down to the power forward spot, and he's an elite three-point shooter who can really stretch the floor.
That is Matt McMahon, and the he McMahon is discussing is Georgia's Jabri Abdur-Rahim, who had 34 points in Georgia's loss to Kentucky over the weekend. So, look, Mike White's got Georgia playing much better. They're 13-5 overall, 3-2 in the league, and Georgia 10-1 on their home floor. So they have been a bear at home, or a bulldog at home. That game tips. A bulldog at home? Can I get a little rim shot? No? Sleep at the wheel? Let's try that again. Man, they have been Georgia 10-1 on their home floor. Man, they have been a bear at home, or should I say a bulldog at home? Oh, thank you. See, it works better whenever it's right there.
Whenever the timing syncs up,
yeah,
it's good.
Otherwise, it's it's not.
Yeah.
When it syncs up, it's good.
It's good.
I like the Christmas Vacation good better than the Bruce Almighty.
Really? Okay.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Hey. One more from Matt McMahon. Talking about how LSU functions best offensively, and pretty clearly it involves guys like Jalen Cook and Jordan Wright.
You look at Jordan on Saturday, 6 assists, 1 turnover. We had multiple possessions throughout that game where a guy drove it, got into the paint, kicked it out opposite. That guy had a good shot, but he made the extra pass to Tyrell Ward for an open three on the wing. I think that is the best formula for us. Multiple ball reversals, sharing the ball, taking high-quality shots. The other piece of that, it allows you to set your transition defense because you're not turning it over, you're not taking bad shots. And the final piece of it is you can be a better rebounding team offensively because your teammates know where the shots are coming from.
It's interesting. Both LSU and Georgia 3-2 in the league. Both teams averaging 76 points a game. Georgia allows almost 72 a game. LSU allows right at 70 a game. Georgia 37 rebounds a game. LSU 36. Both teams average 12 assists per game. I mean, these two teams are almost on a statistical graph identical. But Georgia is at home where they've been 10-1, or where they are 10-1 on the season. So, Tigers are 4.5-point dog to Georgia. So we'll see if LSU can go on the road and get it done again. A 5:30 Central Time tip, so about an hour and 7 minutes from right now on the SEC Network, or you can hear it on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Okay, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, which, my goodness, have we needed those. I'm telling you what, I was in my bathroom during the freeze. And, the toilet is a separate room. I mean, you know how you have the door for the separate toilet. Anyway, there's a window in there, and I was just standing there, and I could feel from that little bitty window, which is not one of the Relief Windows energy windows, I could feel from that the cold air drafting through that window. And it's such a stark contrast from when I go into like our den where we have those energy efficient windows from Relief Windows, and you could stand right next to it. You just feel the difference when a window is sealed. It's properly fitted for that exact specification. That's why they measure twice, install once. It reduces air leaks. I challenge you to do that. The next time it's freezing outside, go stand by one of your windows, old pane windows like that, and just stand by it and feel the cold air coming through, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. My goodness, if you go check out their social media, you'll see the before and after photos. I mean, you want to beautify the exterior of your home, you'll understand why when you see these before and after side-by-sides from Relief Windows. It's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding, interior shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, what a night for the Pels last night. My goodness gracious. A night that John Tesh certainly was envisioning when he wrote the Round Ball Rock. The Fox college basketball theme music.
It's not what it is.
That's what it is.
It's the NBA on NBC. Stop that.
That's what it was.
No, stop that.
Muse. It was the NBA on NBC theme music.
Always
it no
will be.
longer is. There is no such thing as the NBA on NBC anymore. But what there is college basketball on Fox. And for that, Muse, I am grateful that they gave new life to the Round Ball Rock. You see, you are being dismissive. I am grateful because we get to experience the wonderment of John Tesh and the Round Ball Rock again in conjunction with actual basketball happening.
I don't like change. I don't like change.
I know. You're the one who bitches and moans about the SEC on CBS, and the second that it's going to the Big Ten, you're whining about it. Our theme song.
Great song.
It's the SEC on CBS.
It is. Always will be.
Not no more. It's the Big Ten on CBS. It's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl on CBS theme is what it is. It's the Army-Navy on CBS theme song is what it is now, Muse. And when you get that Big Ten clash of Michigan or Minnesota against Wisconsin, you know what you're going to hear? The Big Ten on CBS theme.
I'm not watching Minnesota and Wisconsin, so I will not hear that, but somebody
If it's the Thursday night to start college football, you will.
I don't think it will be, though.
But if it were, you would.
If it were, I would.
Last night, the Pels, my goodness, what a bounce back. It's amazing what 3 days off can do for your legs, right?
Yeah.
How about Zion grabbing a ball behind the backboard and doing a one-handed dunk? Friggin' incredible. Oh, we got that? Oh, hit me with that. Give me Graf on the alley-oop. Give me Graf.
Dyson running the break. Alley-oop Z! Oh, he caught it with a left hand and threw it down!
Fly, Big Z!
He caught that parallel to the backboard with his left hand and somehow was able to throw it down.
Yeah, he did. Did you happen to see the night that CJ had last night?
I saw it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
He was the player of the game.
Makes sense.
CJ was. He scored 153 points. It's a franchise record. CJ, more like 3J, went out there and shot him well, as Graf said, from damn near everywhere.
Rebound comes out to the skeleton and Herb Jones. 3-ball McCollum.
Mercy!
That is from the West Bank.
Mercy!
Good.
Is John in church?
I mean, dude. CJ took him there last night.
33 points, 5 boards for CJ. He was 9 of 13 from behind the arc. Give me more Graf and give me more CJ. Give me more CJ.
McCollum free. Another deep left wing three. He did it again. He's 4 out of 4, and that one was further back than the previous one.
Certified bucket getter. That's what he is.
Put it on the jersey.
Dude, on the back of that, be so like XFL style.
Certified bucket
That's
getter.
so good.
Or MLB style, where they can have their nicknames now.
Players Weekend, yeah.
Have a Players Weekend. Certified bucket getter. On the Didn't the NBA do that?
I don't recall the NBA doing that. No.
Well, they should have.
They should.
Wasn't all about the offense last night. Not on Herb brought his best as well.
Finger roll with a right hand. You better get back.
Herb to the rescue.
Herb saved it. Somehow to Ingram. Shovels to Herb. Behind the back to Z.
Herb to the rescue. Herbert K. Jones.
A one-man wrecking crew. Two-hand dunk, and it's all because of Herbert Keyshawn Jones.
Full name. Date of birth. Social security number.
That's too far. Too much.
Too much.
Can't do that. Yeah, can't do that.
Maybe if you have LifeLock, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Let Trey bring it home when they cross the 150 mark.
Steal. Up the floor. Alley-oop. Trey from Najee.
It's Lanyap.
It's a franchise record 150 points. It's never happened before.
They weren't done. 153 would be the final tally for the Pels. What a night there at the SKC for the Pelicans. Nice bounce back. Look, I mean, you go out on Friday, a sellout crowd, and man, people were so excited with the Suns coming in and a great opportunity. You allowed Devin Booker to steal the show at 52 points, and you have those nights. But 3 nights off for New Orleans did them good. They went out against the Jazz, put up a franchise record 153 points. Now a couple more nights off. They'll be back on Friday with an opportunity to make a statement against the West leading OKC Thunder. After the game last night, Willie Green talked about the offensive explosion.
It was just an incredible performance by the guys in that locker room. You know, sharing the basketball, touching the paint, kick out for threes, rebounding the ball. And I continue to say it goes back to our defense. When we can get stops, when we can rebound, and we play in the open floor, it's some of our best basketball. It's a really fun game to be a part of.
You know, one of the things that Willie Green was asked about when he met with the reporters over the weekend, do you have that cut still from yesterday, Muse, where he was asked about the struggles the Pelicans have had against the teams in the top of the Western Conference? Overall, see if you can grab that cut, please. You have it. So overall, look, the Pelicans are 5th in the West, and they're leading the division. And there's a lot to love about this team and where they are right now. But the question, they're 26-18. The question is, can they be a contender in the West? I mean, you're the 5 seed right now. So, you're right at the halfway point of the season, so there's a lot of ball still to play, as we very clearly saw last year. But how you fare against the best teams in the West ultimately is going to determine what you're able to do in the postseason, if you're able to advance at all. But here was Willie Green. This was before the win against Utah, talking about the struggles they've had against the better teams in the West.
Yeah, we haven't performed well against some of the better teams in the West, like you said. At least the last, like you said, 12 games. Denver, a tough loss on their home floor. The Clippers before that, and then Phoenix. And it's an opportunity for us to learn, grow, come back, watch film, work on some of the concepts, and make sure that we're prepared for those type of games and those moments.
Well, the next opportunity is Friday. Pels will be back at home, 7 p.m., taking on the West leading Thunder. Great opportunity for New Orleans Pelicans. But what a win last night. A lot of fun to watch the guys. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. New mock draft is out seemingly every day. There's one. Our buddy Chris Trapasso over at CBS Sports has his out. We'll tell you what he had to say. We're starting to see a consensus with some things in these mock drafts, so we'll touch on that when we come back. We're glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Stick around South Louisiana long enough, and you'll know this to be true. You don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. I mean, over the weekend, we had temps in the 20s. Now we have temps in the 70s. There was a day last week where we had a 40-degree change in temperature. That's Louisiana. So no matter what time of year, you better keep River City's 1 Hour Air and their number handy. It's 752-0001, 752-0001. You never know when you might need HVAC service. It could be your AC one day and your heater the next here in Baton Rouge. But River City's 1 Hour Air, they're there to help. You see the big yellow vans and trucks all over. Yesterday I was heading home, was exiting the interstate, came up to the light at the exit of the interstate, right on my left, boom, one of the big vans from River City's 1 Hour Air. So many of your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air just like I do. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Remember, nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra nights, holidays, weekends. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. Mention the Moscona special, 752-0001.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best kept secret in town is out.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It is mock draft season, so with every day, there's someone else who's putting out a mock draft. I don't know that we'll go through every one of them every day here, but when there are notable mock drafts, we'll put them out there. Yesterday, we had Mel Kiper's first mock draft, and of course, he had Jaden Daniels going number 2 overall, and I had the Saints at 14, taking Brian Thomas Jr. A lot of people around here would like that. Our buddy Chris Trapasso over at CBS Sports put out his first mock draft today. He's got what most everyone has, I think, right now, which is Caleb Williams 1 to the Bears, followed by Drake May 2 to Washington, and then Jaden Daniels 3 to the New England Patriots. If there is a consensus right now, and that's kind of what I'll look for, and I'll continue to repeat this for those that maybe don't hear every mock draft segment we do. I'm less concerned so much with what one person says in their mock draft. What I'm really looking for is consensus. Is there a consensus viewpoint with who's going number 1? Is there a consensus view with where Jaden Daniels is going? So, for example, every mock draft that you see from reputable NFL sources anyway has Jaden Daniels somewhere in the top 3. Either 2 to Washington, 3 to New England. It's something like that. I don't know that I've seen him in a recent mock draft lower than 3. So that sort of speaks to what the NFL community thinks about Jaden Daniels in this year's draft. Can they be wrong? Sure, they can be wrong. It happens every year in the draft. But when you start to see consensus, that's what I find interesting. Trapasso has Marvin Harrison 4, Brock Bowers 5 to the Chargers. And then one pick later, you want to talk about consensus. I mean, pretty much every mock draft we see has Malik Neighbors number 6 to the Giants. And it makes sense because whether it's Daniel Jones or someone else in New York next year, they're going to need weapons. And if Marvin Harrison's off the board and Malik Neighbors is pretty much the consensus number 2 receiver in this draft, he would be the most obvious choice there. I'll come back to the Saints pick in just a second, but this would be exciting for LSU fans. It's got Brian Thomas going 18 to the Cincinnati Bengals, which means you would have Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase and Brian Thomas Jr. There's a lot of questions of whether or not T. Higgins is back in Cincinnati. So if T. Higgins does leave in free agency, you could very much see the Bengals going wide receiver in round 1, and Brian Thomas Jr. could be the best available right there. As for the Saints, if this circumstance plays out that Chris Trapasso has, it would be, for me, I think, the best case scenario for New Orleans, provided they stay put at 14. The Saints could always move up and probably will because it's what they do. But they got Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame, falling to the Saints at 14. If that happens, that to me would be akin to the opportunity the Saints would have had in 2015 to draft Lyle Collins in the middle of round 1 when they took Andrus Peat. And Pete was a left tackle in Stanford, but projected as a right tackle in the NFL, and then obviously played guard, as we well know. But if you have an opportunity to get a franchise left tackle at 14, you do it. And I know they took their swing with Trevor Penning, but that was also a project. That was a guy that was a skinny dude coming out of high school, went to Northern Iowa, grew into his body, had a really good Senior Bowl, had that sort of really fast acceleration, and maybe there's a spot for Trevor Penning on the interior of the offensive line. Like maybe next year Trevor Penning can be your starting left guard if Andrus Peat isn't there. Maybe not. Maybe it's just it's a wash. Maybe you just completely busted on a first-round pick. But if Joe Alt is there at 14 and you have an opportunity to draft a starting left, like a franchise left tackle at 14, you do it. And that it shouldn't even be a thought if he's there. I just don't know that he's there. Trapasso ranks Alt as the 5th best prospect in the draft. So if you have a guy that's some consider the 5th best prospect in the draft and he's sitting there at 14 at left tackle, you don't pass on that value. So dream scenario if Joe Alt is sitting there at 14. But it's almost impossible for me to imagine a guy like that falling all the way to 14. Because even if he does start to slip, somebody's going to get aggressive and go up and get him because they're going to see the value in it. But if that plays out, man, that would be incredible. So inching closer to the draft, of course, the start of the league year in March when free agency will begin, and then after that cycle of free agency, we'll have a much better sense of what the Saints' needs will be based on what they spend in free agency. I mean, for what it's worth, there aren't really a lot of high-dollar free agents on this Saints roster that you're going to concern yourself with. I mean, Michael Thomas could be a free agent. Jameis Winston. I mean, the Saints have them under contract, but they could both become free. Thomas and Winston after this year. I mean, those would be interesting to see what happens. But aside from that, you're not really sweating a Trey Hendrickson or anything like that this year. So really, it's more going to be where the Saints get aggressive to sign free agents before going into the draft to see what their needs might be. Okay. It's After Further Review, brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call needs to be to First South Farm Credit. Your first option should be First South Farm Credit when it comes to land. They've been helping Louisianians finance land for more than 100 years. If it's agriculture, if you want that piece of property to build your dream home, maybe it's a piece of recreational property. As hunting season's winding down, you lease your hunting property and you share that lease with a bunch of other people and you realize when you leave, man, I don't like sharing. I don't like sharing with them. I want my own place. First South Farm Credit can make it happen. Go to firstsouthland.com. It's incredible. They've been doing it for more than 100 years. The relationships that they build with their customers is what sets them apart. It's First South Farm Credit. This is what they do. They finance land. all day, every day for more than 100 years. FirstSouthLand.com. That's FirstSouthLand.com. All right, y'all, glad you're with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Tomorrow, after the show ends, jetting over to Pluckers on Nicholson. Hopefully you'll join us. My guy Stevie Levy, the king of the wing, be hosting a little game watch party. LSU, South Carolina, the number 1 Gamecocks in town against the number 10 Tigers. Someone on the text line earlier asked, when was the last time there was a game this big? I mean, I'm looking up at the TV, Writers Sports Center. They're previewing LSU in South Carolina. Game day will be at the Maravich Center tomorrow for this. Our friends at Mockler are going to be out at the Fan Fest outside before the game, handing out some of the koozies. We really encourage you, man, if you're not going to be at the game, if you don't have a ticket, and the secondary market prices are crazy. I mean, there's floor seats that you're seeing going for $1,000, $2,000 listed for that anyway. But if you're not going to the game at the Maravich Center, come hang out with us, man. We'll be over at Pluckers on Nicholson watching the game, and I'll have tons of stuff to give away. I'll have swag. I'll have Hudco hats. We'll have 1045 ESPN hats and swag. Our friends over at Mockler have got tons of Bud Light swag for us as well, including these koozies. They're the national championship koozies that they've done with the Women's Basketball National Championship logo. So I got a big, giant bag full of them to give away to everybody tomorrow. So we're looking forward to it. So if you're not going to be at the Maravich Center, come hang out with us tomorrow for the game watch party at Pluckers on Nicholson. Tip off at 7. We'll look forward to seeing you there. And Kim Mulkey was on her coach's show and said that if LSU wins, she hopes the LSU fans act accordingly.
Raise your hand if you've ever beaten South Carolina in your career. None of them raised their hand, except for me and Bob Starkey. I said, beating South Carolina is not that big a deal to me. I beat them twice in 1 year to win a national championship. But for this program and for you and for the LSU fan base, you need to understand it is a big deal because you want to do something that hasn't been done in a long, long while. But don't allow it to be bigger than it really is. We're not going to go run on the floor if we beat them. You're the defending national champions. Woo! Act like you've been there.
Woo! God bless you, Kim Mulkey. I have a big old standing ovation for Kim Mulkey right now. God bless you, Kim. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Stay your ass in your seat. Go running on the floor. You're LSU. You won the national championship last year. You ain't running on the damn floor. And it's disgusting. Like in 2014 when LSU beat Ole Miss in football and all y'all morons ran on the field. Ole Miss? The Runts? Who have never even been to Atlanta? You're storming the field for that? 2018, LSU beats Georgia. Y'all run on the field again. I mean, LSU at that point had won 2 national titles, played for third since 2003. LSU beats Georgia, and so y'all run on the field? For what? I mean, 2003 LSU beat Georgia. When they were top 10, we didn't run on the field. I mean, last year, when LSU beat Alabama, you've won 3 national titles since 2003, played for a 4th. You beat Alabama and you run on the field? Stop running on the field. Stop running on the court. Act like you've been. Okay, if you're LSU men's basketball, you can do it. You ain't won nothing. Like ever. I'm good with that. If you've won something, like LSU baseball, don't want to be dogpiling when you win the SEC championship. You don't want to be dogpiling when you win a 4-team regional. You dogpile in Omaha. Kim Mulkey's right. If you're there tomorrow and LSU beat South Carolina, stay your ass in the seats. All right, it's after further review. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Speaking of Kim Mulkey, Gordon's got a cool series he's doing right now, Riding with G. So Gordon riding around in his Ferrari, which is an incredible, incredible flex. It's Riding with G, and the first episode of Riding with G is with none other than Kim Mulkey. So if you want to see it, you can check it out. You can go to the YouTube channel. Actually, go to any of their social media accounts, at GetGordon, and you'll see the link. They've got some short videos there, short-form videos there as well. But a one-on-one convo with Kim Mulkey as they're riding around. You can check that out. Of course, Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. The G team continues to grow. This week, Aaliyah Finnegan from LSU Gymnastics. Told you about Dara Haydet from the Tiger Girls, the national champion Tiger Girls. Jordan Wright from the LSU men's basketball team, and on and on and on. The G team continues to grow as Gordon continues to support college athletes with NIL deals. If you've been injured, it's not your fault and you need representation, get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, Musso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Alrighty, let's get going with some NBA basketball from last night. Cam Thomas, 22 minutes off the bench, dropped 14 points, shot 6 of 11 from the floor. 2 assists will round out his night. While on the subject of the Nets, we have an update on the injury for Ben Simmons. They're calling it a nerve impingement in his lower back. Head coach Jacques Vaughn gave an update when they returned to Brooklyn ahead of this game against the Knicks last night. Said Ben would miss the next 3 games, so that's the New York game and then the next 2. But by the end of this week, they could have him in Long Island with the G League team practicing for an anticipating a return. Yeah, in Long Island.
Long Island.
Duop Reith, who should be starting even more consistently for the Portland Trail Blazers, Dropped 10 points last night and 4 rebounds, 21 minutes off the bench, and nice 3 of 5 shooting night. Also knocking down the 3 a little bit, too. I don't remember that with Duop Reith here at LSU, man, being able to knock down the 3 like that.
It's been a while since he played. He was on Will Wade's first team.
I get it.
What was that, 2017?
Yeah, I mean, he's 27 years old. He's a rookie.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I don't remember
his
him
game.
being
Well, his game is probably developed. Also, Portland's one of the worst teams in the league. So
they're not good, but, I mean, look, that's not Duop's fault. He's out there doing work. To the Chinese Basketball Association we go. That's where we find Antonio Blakeney playing for Nanjing Tongji. 36 points last. I actually feel like I did pretty good on that one. 36 points.
I can't even check it to know if you did it right or
7
wrong.
rebounds last night for Antonio Blakeney. Really, really solid performance there. And on the links, Farmers Insurance Open, Ben Taylor, 2 under par in his first round out there at Torrey Pines. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. That's pure-restoration.com. If you have mold, think you might have mold, water intrusion, need remediation, Pure Restoration. It's a patented, meaning proprietary. No one else can do it. Non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's Pure Restoration. If you can't remember the name of the website, don't worry. Just shoot me a message on any of those platforms. I'm happy to send you the link and the contact. It's Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. Get rid of them. We live in the mold capital of the world, man. If you have mold, Pure Restoration can help. And they're efficient and they're affordable. It's Pure Restoration. Check them out. You can go read the full U.S. Army Corps of Engineers review of their proprietary procedure. It's Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. Okay, we got Otter Locks. We got Pluckers Trivia next hour. We got Gordon McKernan in studio. Talk a little NIL and the G team as it relates to LSU. We're doing all that coming up right after the top of the hour. Sports Center is next.
AFR.
Yeah, we had flash flood warnings this morning in Baton Rouge and parts of southeast Louisiana. When it rains that much, that heavily, you know people who have roof issues are going to have them exposed. If that's you, call us at HUDCO Roofing. HUDCOroofing.com. I tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Terrio, that's Richard Tilley up in Shreveport-Bossier. That's Jeff Hudson, Sherry Hudson, John Michael Garcia. Our awesome team would love to help you out. Listen, no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, HUDCO services the entire state. Go to the website. You will see a phone number at the top of the page for every single area code in Louisiana. So we can help you if it's commercial or residential. All this awful rain, it happens all the time. Never fails. Tell you all the time. You want to find out if you got roof damage? Either let us come do an inspection or wait till it rains. Then you'll find out. Unfortunately, a lot of people probably found out today with all the weather. We'd love to help you out at HUDCO Roofing. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Bucks are bringing in a veteran NBA championship-winning coach. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports they've agreed with ESPN NBA analyst Doc Rivers to make him their new head coach. Following the firing of Adrian Griffin, Rivers emerged as Milwaukee's top target, explains Woj.
I'm not sure any coach checks every box for you. There's very few of those. But Doc Rivers, in terms of his track record, has coached a lot of star players, and a coach who they believe gives them a presence that will command the respect of not just their star players, but those in the locker room.
Adrian Wojnarowski on Carlin versus Joe. USA Basketball Executive Director Grant Hill said Draymond Green was left out of the player pool for this summer's Olympics because of his Warriors suspension, which was related to his on-court actions. The Dolphins and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio mutually agreed to part ways. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler report Fangio will now be the top target for the Eagles' vacant D.C. position, and a deal is expected.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Ton to do. We'll get Jimmy in here for Otter Locks in about 45 minutes or so. Glad to have Gordon McKernan in studio. Get him at Get Gordon on all the social media platforms. Of course, guy was really the banner carrier for LSU's NIL efforts at the onset of this thing and has continued to do so. Good to have you in studio, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Last time you were here, you brought me Air Gordon 1s.
Yeah.
What'd you bring me this time?
I brought Taylor along, and Taylor's going to get some great video of you and make you look even more handsome and entertaining than you are.
What a charmer.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming in, man. And I know it's been so interesting talking to you over the last really 2 years in this NIL space and how it's evolved. Whenever, do you ever think back to whenever NIL went live and you're trying to decide, okay, what am I going to do with this to where you are now? Like, do you ever think about that time period and how how much reality mapped or didn't map to what your thought might have been?
Right. It's surreal. I just never would have anticipated where it would have gone as quickly as it's gone. And I don't think you can anticipate it, right? The ripples in the pond when one little pebble gets dropped in and what happens from there. And now it's just chaos in college football.
I'm going to go specific with some of your stuff, but you led me there. So let me ask, do you think this is sustainable?
No.
When I say this, I mean just the whole NIL space?
No. And having friends at other collectives and some high ups at some prominent collectives, and these are even the wealthiest collectives in the country, they say it's not sustainable, right? They just can't do it. Whether it's a financing thing or a lack of cohesion in building a roster thing or all these other iterations that are happening, it's not sustainable.
Every market eventually settles,
Right.
right? I mean, that's just a business principle. I think it's going to happen eventually, but what does that look like? So we say it's not sustainable. Okay, I don't think we're going to continue to see, like I saw a report that Ohio State's roster this year, they're planning to spend $13 million, which is the number I was told Texas spent on their roster that just went to the national championship. Give or take $1 million or $2 million. I mean,
they'll be higher than that.
Okay.
Now, for a fact.
Okay.
They'll be higher.
So even if they keep going higher, like at what point? I mean, you can't keep going at that rate every year, can you? So if not, where does it settle?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
And that's an unknown. But I think what's going to happen is when one amasses too much power, the Ohio States and the Texas with the deep, rich programs, with the deep, rich donor base. Not everybody has both of those, right? Only a few colleges in the country really have both of those. Ohio State, Texas have it. They're going to be the haves and the have-nots. And you're seeing it just in 2 years. Texas knocked on the door. And we've seen what they've done in the recent transfer portal with Alabama and some other schools. Watch what they're going to put on the field next year. And Sark can coach.
Yeah.
Watch what's going to happen. It's going to be Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Ohio State, Alabama, and Texas. Alabama's obviously going to fall. And then we're going to see who can kind of limp in after that. Michigan will probably rise some unless Harbaugh goes. But it's the haves and the have-nots. And it's going to be an elite group.
College football has always been the haves and the have-nots.
It has. But it's getting more aristocratic, just a smaller group. I'm hopeful LSU can join that. I mean, we have the deep program. We just don't have a deep of donor base, right?
So we'll come back to the donor base in a second. But the haves and the have-nots is interesting because I would say in a given year, when the season starts, there's probably maybe a dozen
that could have a chance.
Maybe
right.
Probably more like
8,
6 or 8.
Yes.
So how much more narrow are we talking?
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to see it narrow probably down to like 4 to 5, right? Unless something happens. You can see the stockpiling of talent that's occurring, right? It just is. It's flowing those places that are deep programs in tradition, and also now they're deep in money, and it's happening.
Gordon McKernan is in studio with us, of course, at Get Gordon. We'll talk plenty about the G team. We got you for a couple of segments, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as I know.
Because I want to talk specifically about some of the athletes you're signing, the path you're going, but I'm kind of staying big picture here.
Right.
You just mentioned like the depth of the donor base.
Right.
And this is one of the things I try to explain. A lot of LSU fans get mad at me when I say this, G, because like you can look and say, hey, man, I mean, LSU has big, beautiful facilities, and you pay coaches a lot of money. You do, but when you do, you keep knocking on the same doors. And eventually you shake the tree so many times and the leaves aren't going to keep falling. So can you elaborate just a little bit from your perspective on and I don't mean this to be because I think there are people within the LSU ecosystem that do an amazing job of doing what they do. It's why LSU has built what they have, but it's not the same as a lot of other places.
No, it's not. And I'm specifically talking about these schools, Texas and Georgia, Ohio State. It's just it's a population demographic. When we have 4.5 million, some of these other states have 10, 14, 15 million, and then there's a lot of banking or oil and gas in those states. I was on the phone last week, true story, with the head of the Texas Collective, and I'm just busting him up about raiding Alabama. Really? I mean, you're going to do that? What's that called? And we're laughing back and forth, and we're talking about, he's telling me kind of where they're spending and all that stuff, and I look up quickly online, billionaires in Texas. You know how many billionaires are in Texas?
You can Google it. Let me guess.
Yeah.
Billionaires in Texas.
Yeah. state of Texas.
I'm going to say there are 101.
Yeah, it was 78 on this list. So
it's going just over
in,
100.
in Louisiana, depending
5.
Yeah, it's some of it's hidden, right? 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So right there, Georgia has in the mid 50s, right? So automatically you're talking with some deep pockets, right? That those guys can step up, write checks that obliterate the landscape.
Yeah.
And to some degree they have and they have not yet. That's concerning that they really haven't engaged. But I don't lose heart. And Coach Kelly, I was at an event last night for the collective for Bayou Traditions, and he gave this interesting stat. He said, the NFL just did a report on free agency and salary cap, a 9-year report. And it turns out that in this 10-year period, New England Patriots spent the least amount, right, on free agents and that pool, right, recruiting the new players and getting the spending wars, and they won 4 championships during that. So he's hanging his hat, and I think we should all hang our hats on. You don't have to spend the most to be the best. Now, you do have to be competitive, and we have to certainly get in that realm, right? And that's what we're talking about. We're not going to spend with Texas, but if we can get in that realm, we have a great tradition, we have better coaching, we have better facilities, all those things I think will be fine. It's just, it's legged up again. Last year we were $4 million in a collective. This year we're trying to get to $8 million in a collective or so. This is just football only. Then you got to raise another $3-4 million for the other sports. That's where the struggle is. How do we get to that next part without, as you're saying, keep knocking on the same doors?
I want to delve deeper into that. So last year football about $4 million. Give me some context from what you know. You say you talked to other collectives. Where is that with respect to other collectives? If LSU spends $4 million on its football roster, where does that rank?
Yeah, last year we were a little below average. That's our best intel. This year we're trying to get up to that $7-8 million mark, which will put us kind of in the middle, a little bit above the middle of the pack. And we think based upon who we are and our coaches and stuff, we'll be fine there. But make no mistake that Ohio State and Texas and probably Texas A&M trying to revitalize itself, Georgia, will be higher than us, right?
So if LSU is trying to get to $7-8 million for 2024,
right?
Is $7-8 million sustainable for 25 or 26 or then to $10 million? Like
there's going to be inflation in this. We know that, right?
Sure.
It's sustainable if we can recruit the everyday fan, like we were talking about, before we got on the segment, which Florida State and Ole Miss have done really, really well.
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn, raising, the $500 to $10,000 gifts from 5,000 people, right? And that's where they're really catching up and surpassing. So the collectives, starting an initiative here in February where we're going to go out and start targeting that and trying to do a better job. You get the faithful Tiger fan who loves and is passionate about LSU football more so than any place in the country to dip in their pocket a little bit for $500, $1,000, $1,500. Yeah, we'll compete.
Does that one big question? I love this conversation, but is that robbing Peter to pay Paul? Is that taking $10,000 away from another donation? Or are you basically just reallocating the same funds?
Yeah, there's some worry out there, of course, right? And there's tickets and the price of a game.
Yeah.
You got a TAF donation, all those things. Yeah, you're potentially doing that, but we have to keep innovating. And fortunately, Scott Woodward and his mind and how he's able to have a long-term vision for all athletics as well as raising money from new sources. When you talk to Scott, he just thinks so outside the box. I have faith in what he's going to be able to do, and Matt and the collective. They don't work together necessarily, but their visions. I do think we have the best group of people in each of those spots.
Matt being Matt Borman with TAF.
Yeah.
One more on this segment or break. One of the things that, Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, talked about this. I know there are athletic administrators right now preparing for the possibility or even likelihood of revenue sharing.
Yep.
Maybe as early as 2025.
Yeah.
What do you think that First of all, do you think that is a possibility?
Yeah. Wow.
And what do you think that looks like?
So the best information that, those of us kind of into this or dealing with is that within a couple of years, 2 years at the most, you're either going to have a revenue sharing model or an employee-employer relationship, right? There's 2 different court cases that are out there that are proceeding, and I don't want to say it's a race to the courthouse, but something is going to cause a fundamental shift in all of this per those court cases. It just will. I think that the more likely bet is on revenue sharing. I don't think the Southeastern Conference and the other power conferences want to get into this employer-employee thing. It gets really, really complicated. So I think you'll see that. There's talk of how do you do it, especially with Title IX, right? Because if you got to share revenue against all that, and there's some thought that maybe Congress will get involved and carve out football, and then the rest of it will be more equally distributed among those sports. But they're going to have to do something, and they have to address Title IX. But I think a revenue sharing model is probably what most of the coaches and administrators and commissioners like, from what I'm hearing.
They go to rev share, they will cut sports.
Yeah,
there will be massive amounts of sports that just aren't fielded anymore.
Right.
There's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
How do you pay for uniforms and travel and scholarship and all? That's going to be the biggest casualty if they go to a rev share model. It's got to be. Gordon McKernan's in studio with us, of course, at Get Gordon on any social media platform. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Of course, we love our partnership here with G, and we're glad to have him in studio. Now, I got a quick break. I want to talk a little bit more about what Gordon's doing specifically with the G team. You probably noticed a lot of the content that he's been putting out of late, and going very, very wide in his NIL, casting a wide NIL net, not necessarily just deep. So we'll get to that as we continue here with Gordon McKernan. Stick around.
AFR.
Love telling you about Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. If you are an employer, talking to you, Glow Resources, amazing company based out of Baton Rouge with offices everywhere. They place employees literally all over the world, thousands of employees, with a 93% retention rate. At Glow Resources, that's how they rate their success. How long do their employees stay with your business? So at Glow, they like to say we are complete employer solutions, especially since COVID. It has been so difficult for business owners to hire and to hire successfully. Let Glow Resources help. That's what they do. If it's skilled blue-collar labor, Glow Resources can help. They have a white-collar division as well. Look, tax season's here. Need accounting services? Glow Resources can help. Start by going to their website at glowresources.com. It's GLO for Glow Resources. Again, online at glowresources.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. Saw Riding with G. Whose idea was that?
That was mine. I came with that.
Really?
I got it from Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
I'm a big Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
It was two things. So Grubbing with G, you've probably seen those.
Of course.
But Grubbing with G takes a while longer, right? It's a bigger commitment. So that sometimes these athletes don't want to give you as long a commitment. No, I don't have enough time for you, right? So, I mean, I only need an hour, 45. No. So I came with the idea, why not do something shorter? Pick you up, we'll go through a drive-through, we'll get something, I'll bring you back, and that's it. And so it's Riding with G, right?
So you got Kim Mulkey in the first episode. Wait, so, and this is a Ferrari, by the way, which is gorgeous. You're telling me you take the Ferrari through a drive-through?
I do. Yeah, I do.
What kind of looks do you get when it's Gordon McKernan, Kim Mulkey, and a Ferrari going through a drive-through?
We got some looks.
I bet you
certainly
did.
Yeah, we did.
I'd have been looking.
Yeah. My team, Taylor and the guys, I didn't know they were going to be staked out along the way. They did a great job. They really did. I look up at Taylor's hiding behind a car with a camera. I'm like, what is he doing there? So.
What's your thoughts on the job Mulkey has done? I mean, obviously winning the national championship, but not just like coaching basketball, but I mean, College Game Day is going to be at the PMAC tomorrow for women's basketball.
Yeah.
There's secondary market prices for like $2,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. And our other LSU coaches in all sports, and I'm talking the big sports, the male-dominated sports, I think they would all give a little tip of the hat to her and nod to her and go, you're something different. You're special. She just transcends sports, culture, politics, race, religion. I mean, she is an absolute force.
What are you? I mean, you come from an athletic family, a background. You've been around sports for a long time. When you see something like that, like people will say, "What's the it factor?" Like, how do you define that? What's the thing that have you ever given any thought to that? Like, what is that thing that makes her her?
Yeah.
And even in a profession of type A person, like dominant winners, right? To be a head coach, you got to be that.
Right.
But even in that rarefied air, she's still a notch.
Yeah. It's hard to describe, and I've had it a couple times in my life. And I met Bill Clinton one time, and I had lunch with him at a table of a bunch of Republicans. And let me tell you, it was crazy. We're all sitting there in 2-hour lunch, and everybody got up from that table and said, all right, I'd vote for you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, a lot of great politicians. There's something different. It's hard to explain. She has it when you're with her, when you're talking to her, the way she looks at you, and she takes this special interest in you. And she's trying to figure that out. And then she can just handle everything, the swarm of the crowds, and just kind of float through it with a grace and elegance, but a confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, she is just something else.
It's magnetic.
Yeah, it really is.
There's no doubt.
No one like her.
This week alone, the G team has grown tremendously. I saw I'm pretty sure the latest post was Aaliyah Finnegan, the gymnast, who by the way, is going to be in the Olympics this summer in France, representing the Philippines. Is that right?
That's right.
That's her parents' country, so she's able to compete for the Philippines. What led to this deal with Aaliyah?
Yeah, so it's a bigger project, so to speak, or a bigger initiative that I had. I get teased a little bit sometimes by my 3 daughters and wife. Oh, you're always signing the guys, you're doing this, or the big basketball stars in women's basketball, and just little punches at me. And I got to thinking, late November, December, coming through football season, and what about showcasing or giving a little shout out to maybe the non-revenue sports, particularly the female non-revenue sports. They don't get a whole lot of attention, and they work just as hard. They have to train. They have the class schedule. They have to balance everything, and I thought it'd be great just to raise that profile. Whether it's gymnastics, it's soccer, it's swimming, softball, volleyball, cheerleading, Tiger girls, all of that. So I said, look, we're gonna do about a 6-month push where we just sign a few from each team and elevate their stature, right, and bring some attention to them because they deserve it, right?
Yeah.
They work very hard, and it's a big push towards National Women's Month in March, and we're going to just kind of flood that time with all the great things the LSU female athletes do, and it was just a recognition. And of course, leading the charge will be Kim, right?
Of course.
She'll be out in front of this, and if you've ever dealt with her on any of this stuff, she doesn't mind leading that charge.
She doesn't want to be second in anything.
No.
I mean, I've told the story before, Gila. So like, we got a great relationship with Mockler, so we got the Bud Light bottles here, and this is the women's national championship thing. That was Kim. Like, she went to Chris Davis at Mockler and was like, "How do I get my own bottle?"
Oh, yeah.
Like, even that, the game tomorrow night is going to be on Eagle 98.1.
Right.
She went to Flynn Foster, our president and CEO, and was like, "Why aren't we on Eagle 98.1?"
It's
everything.
A normal story about her. Everything she does, whether she's dealing with Scott Woodward, whether she's dealing with TVs or anything, it's all, why aren't we being treated equal?
Yeah.
Why is it this way? And I've seen it personally when she's asking people, and it makes them uncomfortable when a woman of that much conviction and confidence starts eyeballing them.
Yeah. She gets results.
She does.
People don't tell her no.
No.
You also signed Dara Haydet. Haydet or Haydet? Do you pronounce it T?
Haydet.
So she was the captain of the Tiger Girls who just won the national championship. Did you have this in the works before they won?
I did.
You did?
Yeah,
before they won?
I did.
But sometimes, like, do you believe in life? Sometimes. See, this is fascinating. G. Like, there are people who it seems like you have the golden horseshoe up your butt. But, like, you already had this in the work, and then they go viral and win the national championship for the Michael Jackson dance. And a day later, 2 days later.
Right. How were we able to announce it with all these pictures? You know, we had met a couple weeks before, signed, started paying her, and we had her programmed when we were going to announce her because we're doing it every week or so, announcing a different girl. Yeah, but we had met already. She's a wonderful young lady and actually wants to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader one day.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's what she wants to do. And she's great. And I don't know if you saw the halftime performance at the Arkansas game when they were out there, but you really get up close and you watch them, how athletic those girls are. It's amazing. And they are moving for 3.5 minutes, not stopping. They keep their composure and their breath. They do a great job.
Gordon McKernan's in studio, of course, on any of the social media platforms at GetGordon. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You can always call the 8s as well, 888-8888. I think everybody knows that by now, 888-8888. Oh, Gordon, everybody knows the number. 8's my lucky number, too, so that's there you go. Yeah. But one of the things that you and I know have talked about throughout this whole NIL culture, whatever, is return on investment. Mm-hmm. And early on, maybe a year ago or so, you and I sat here and I asked you, I think it was when we were doing the podcast with Pixley, the Rosters to Riches pod, and I'd asked you about how you measure ROI. Because it's one thing to just donate to the collective. It's another when you do, like, what you are doing, it is the intent of NIL. Like, this is what it was supposed to be.
Agreed.
Have you figured out how to measure ROI of this yet?
Yeah, not exactly. I mean, you deal with Alex, my marketing director. He's very good at lead attribution, trying to figure out where interest in your company or service comes from, and we track it as best we can. But you know, if I were to ask him, hey, what is our lead attribution back to NIL? He would say, oh, it's awful. You know, not too many people call in and say, well, I heard Gordon or saw him supporting the athletes. Yeah. But we do get individual cases. We've signed people up related to NIL. But what it has really done is raise the goodwill of my company in my profession. I think probably to a lesser degree that, you know, and I've said this often, what I do is not looked upon with great favor by all people. Some people think that I'm the reason the insurance rates are higher. I'm the reason this problem exists, right? And I'm not going to try to argue those things right now. But the point is, at least now they see a guy like that going, wow, well, he does give back and he does support these kids and does things that probably aren't the smartest spend of money. It'd be better for me to buy more airtime on your show, probably than sign some of these players.
You should do that.
I should do that. That'd be great. Or buy another billboard, or do some of those things that are going to be a more direct call to action, more direct result. But you know, it's not all about money. It's about giving back and supporting kids in your community and your love for your local university. So that's what all of this is about. An indirect result is we just got this goodwill.
Yeah. There is an undeniable truth about any type of marketing. It is impossible, literally, as great as Alex is and what he does, and like, it is impossible to measure the residual effect of marketing.
Right.
And you told me a story about why you decided to start marketing 30 years ago.
Right.
When actually, would you just real quick tell the story for those that haven't heard? It'd be better from you than
someone,
from me.
Where
Yes,
someone,
yes,
So
yes, yeah.
I had done handled a case, early 2000s for a person, did a good job. They were happy. They left. Handful of years later, I get a phone call, and it's that same person. Like, hey, I'd like you to represent me in this accident I was in. I was like, great, love to help you. And they go, well, I have this other attorney, so we're gonna have to get the case from him. I said, well, what do you mean you hired another attorney? Didn't we do a great job for you? Oh, you did a great job for me. Well, weren't you happy? I was very happy. So, well, why didn't you hire me? Well, his commercial came on when I was injured. I was sitting there at my house, and I just picked up the phone and called him. Walked down the hall to my dad's office, and he was a great trial lawyer, was against advertising. Said, like, I think I have to do something different because it's changed. It doesn't matter how good of lawyers we are. It's going a different direction. And I was fortunate to see that at that time, and he was gracious enough to allow me to go do it.
Yeah. So it speaks to that client. What is the residual effect of marketing?
Right.
Like it matters. So I think all the stuff that you've done with NIL, undeniably, not only has it raised the profile of your firm, you personally and your firm, but it's the brand awareness and in different sectors that otherwise may have never considered, which is probably maybe even the bigger part of it.
That's right. Other people would not have considered me in this walk of life or this sector of life. And I go, wow, okay, he's not so bad, and he's helping the university. And maybe
not so bad.
Literally, I'll have to start from a negative. I'm just trying to move the negatives just to a neutral, right? That's all.
I think you've succeeded in a big way. Gordon McKernan is in studio with us. He's on Twitter, all the social media platforms at @GetGordon. Of course, we're great. We're thrilled to be partnered with Gordon. Have been for a couple of years now. Before you go, what if you could just give me? I know you said like you're planning on releasing maybe a new GT member each week. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a snapshot of what to expect for you personally, and maybe just from an NIL perspective with LSU? Like what's coming up?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, there's going to be a pretty broad net cast across the non-revenue women's sports, right? LSU women's basketball, some could argue, is revenue generating now, or definitely, publicity generating, right?
Sure.
But the other one. So we got that, as well as we've been working and interviewing, so to speak, a bunch of LSU football and baseball players.
Cool.
I plan on probably signing 5 to 6 of those with pretty good contracts. Looking forward to that because those guys are just great. I mean, they really are. At the same time, we have a handful of LSU football players that we've carried over from last season, and I would imagine as the spring game, right? I like to do it kind of around the season. So around spring game, we'll get in there for a couple of months, and we'll do something and sign a handful. And really, when fall comes in earnest in August, we'll leap back into that pond and go deep, right? We'll go deep and wide in football. That's always our breadwinner, so to speak, our bell cow. So we're not going anywhere. We're still going to play a big part in the NIL space until Congress comes in or there's revenue sharing, and I can fade back into the background. And I'm proud to say the collective and some of the big donors that you probably think of are stepping up again, and I'm thankful to them doing that. And we ought to be thankful as fans.
You also mentioned February 1st, beginning of February, there'll be a big initiative. Can you give any type of tease to what that might be?
Well, that's a kind of a rollout more in earnest of what we're doing with these women athletes, right? And kind of putting a little more paint on the canvas rather than just kind of the slow drip. And for a 2-month period, we'll be very heavy in all things Kim Mulkey, all things women's sports.
Okay. Gordon McKernan, get him on any social media platform at @GetGordon. You can go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Always appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, love being here.
It's our pleasure. It's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll continue next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Tell you all the time, every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. That's agent225.com, the most user-friendly website in real estate. Remember, Darren James just switched to LPT Realty. Literally, the fastest growing real estate company ever. In 1 year, LPT Realty has gone from 1 agent to 7,000 agents and growing literally by the day. LPT is an acronym for Listing Power Tools. So think about what it means. Their marketing, their ability to get your listing, your home, in front of more people more effectively And then when you partner that with Darren James, who's on the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list, the top 1% of realtors in America, you got a dream team. So call Darren James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we are rolling along here. We'll get to Otter Locks in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Thanks to Gordon McKernan for joining us. Great insight. I mean, we were talking just as he was walking out of studio. One of the really cool things about getting to do that is when we talk about NIL, it's just an area where disclosure isn't easy to find. Who's raising what? How competitive is this? Who's getting what? So when you can get disclosure and sort of a better grasp of what's happening, and it's not just hearsay or assumptions, it's great. So I always appreciate Gordon, man. He's been great to us, as he's been great to LSU. I mean, he and his family love LSU, so they love Louisiana. So genuine, awesome dude. We appreciate a couple of minutes. All right. Let's do some Pluckers trivia. Yeah, hit it, Muse. Pluckers trivia. Let's go.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right. Ooh. Oh. By the way, hold on. Did I just see that?
What'd you see?
Our friends over at Mockler
Okay.
have 2 tickets for the game tomorrow they're going to let me give away.
Yo, how about that, huh?
We'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow on the show. Okay. Hold on. Let me get back to the questions here, Muse. Prolonging the inevitable.
Hey, coming off a 2-1 week here. Watch it, all right?
Guy has 1 winning week and all of a sudden he gets an attitude, Paulie. So now your season-long, your year-long winning percentage, Muse, is that what, like $1.16? Congrats.
No. It's
hot.
only January 24th. I don't really actually know how many weeks we've done this. We can go back and add it up.
Year.
No, that's
fiscal year.
No.
Yes.
All right, we're going to start it over. We're going to start it over.
Okay, so then you ended 2023 with a total about $1.14.
2023 was a bad year. That's why we're looking to bounce back here in 24.
All right, Muse. Okay, you got a shot here. You do. Muse, you got a shot here.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
I kind of feel good
If you
about
don't
it.
get this one,
Oh, Lord.
then you should leave. You shouldn't be on this show.
You set me up for failure
This
with
is
that
a
every time.
football one.
All right.
Name 2 of the 4 teams that played in last year's conference championship.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. That's the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
They were there. And the Philadelphia Eagles. They were there.
Yeah. They're also offering a bonus point if you get all 4, but you're wrong if you get nothing. But if you're wrong, you get nothing.
I mean, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Man, who did they play?
Joe ends at 6.
Yeah, I don't remember who they played.
He gets nothing! How in the world can you not remember it was Joey B?
Oh, my God, it was the Bengals.
Oh, he gets nothing!
No.
Give yourself a buzzer. You get nothing. Wow.
Well, I gambled. I'm a gambler. What can I say?
How about it? Our guy got cocky,
Man.
Paulie. He couldn't remember
Get
Joey
cocky.
B? Wow. I believe the words were, oh, that's easy.
That's not what I said. When you said name 2 of the 4 is when I said that's easy.
He did say that was easy.
When you said 2 of the 4.
Exactly what you said.
Did he say the words, that's easy?
He did.
Oh, well, that's easy. Thought so. Guess what? No points for you on that one, Muse. Hey, Muse, 3 clues. Name the celeb that read mean tweets about themselves on late night TV as tweeted by the public. Ugly. Wait, what?
Sounds vague, but okay.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Name the celebrity that read mean tweets about themselves on late night TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Ugly, The Office, The Wire. Who is the celebrity that would describe? Ugly, The Office, The Wire.
Oh, man.
Those are your 3 clues.
Yeah, The Wire, I have no idea. Ugly, The Office. I have to do this off 2 clues. Can I, if I said the character name in The Office, would that count, or is it, or do I have to know the name of the person?
You need the name of the celebrity.
Oh. I have no idea. Ed Helms? I have no idea. I don't know.
Idris Elba is who we were looking for. So, yeah. So that's 0-2 there from Muse.
With an asterisk.
We've reverted to form here, Paulie. After our guy got all
with an
all uppity.
asterisk.
Over.
Mm-hmm.
Asterisk is in there as well, but okay.
I mean, you're not getting this one. In 1916, the U.S. purchased the U.S. Virgin Islands from what European nation?
France?
It is not France.
Oh.
See? Paulie got, I have it. Oh, that's it. Oh,
said that one with confidence, too.
Who was it?
Denmark is the answer.
Really?
0-3,
The Dutch, huh?
Use. 0-3.
With an asterisk.
Back of the line, you chump.
Asterisk.
I wouldn't suggest you bet at DraftKings today, Muse. It's not your lucky day.
I already did.
So did I.
Yeah.
DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. You can get to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, make a $5 bet on the NFL playoffs. Any bet. If it's money line, if it's spread, if it's total, if it's props, make a $5 bet on the NFL playoffs. They'll give you 200 bonus bets instantly. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, Otter Locks is coming up. Otter gave us 2 plays earlier. I wonder if he's going to have more. Any indication if he'd have more?
I mean, I think he will. But I don't know for sure.
Okay. He gave us earlier Bama.
Unranked team over ranked team, by the way.
Yes, Bama's playing Auburn. Bama favored over. He gave it to us early in the day because he said he expected those lines to move. And was the other one Seton Hall?
The other one was Seton Hall.
So
yes.
Seton Hall and Bama are the two that that Otter gave us earlier today. So anyway, you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We got Otter coming up. See what else he's got. But again, remember, new customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 NFL playoff bet. They'll give you 200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. 21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in required. 1 no-sweat token issued per eligible day after opt-in. No-sweat bonus bet issued based on amount of losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max reward limits, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensing partner, Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Alabama. Oh, yeah. No, it's still 3.5. Okay. So we, let's see, bought it to 3. What was the other one we used? Seton Hall, right?
Seton Hall, the Pirates.
Let's see where Seton Hall is. Oh, that game's underway.
Oh, well, then that has nothing for anybody else.
Yeah. I can't remember what the line was that we got on Seton Hall. But anyway, it's 10-7 right now. Providence has beaten Seton Hall. We got it at Seton Hall -4. So we got Seton Hall -4. They're down 3. It's early, just about 7 minutes into the game. But all right, y'all. It's after further review. Been a good show. We appreciate you for hanging out with us here. We'll knock out our final break. We'll come back. We'll do a little Otter Locks. Jimmy will jump aboard with us. Again, we know that I wish he had told us Seton Hall game. It started early. We could have given it away. LSU and Georgia are underway. Maybe we could flip that on in here. LSU and Georgia are underway. I can just see it from the ESPN app, but we can put it on the TV in here. LSU early lead 5-2 in that one, in the early going. Actually, the app says 10-7, so that needs to refresh. LSU 10, Georgia 7, 12:02 to play in the first as they're underway there in Athens. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break. We'll come back. Otter Locks is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries. Was texting earlier today with my buddy Chuck over at Action Industries, as a matter of fact. Love telling you about this great Louisiana business that's been in business since 1982. Literally the year I was born. Action Industries is as old as I am, and they continue to service the petrochemical refinery markets. If you are a maintenance manager, if you're a turnaround coordinator, I'm talking to you, because Action Industries, their facilities are here. They're from the area. They hire local talent through all levels of their organization. And one of the things really that differentiates with Action Industries is they're the size of business to where they can do big jobs. But if you have a 100-person job, you're the biggest client they'll have. They can give you all of their attention. They're not taking a general foreman instead of a superintendent. You're getting the superintendent for that job. It's Action Industries. You can trust them. Give them a call. Look them up online. Action Industries.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, tomorrow, LSU, South Carolina, we will be at Pluckers on Nicholson for a game watch. If you're not going to be in the arena, join us over at Pluckers on Nicholson to watch LSU and South Carolina. A little bit of breaking news. Jim Harbaugh, Schefter breaking it. Jim Harbaugh will be the next coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. So after winning the national championship, Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan. Also there in Athens, LSU with an early lead over Georgia, 10-7, nearing the 11-minute mark. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you?
Doing awesome, man. Great night last night, by the way. 2 rocking chair covers, one with South Carolina and the other with Nebraska. And then you had given Wisconsin to us early when it was 4, but we got it actually at 2, so we pushed with Wisconsin last night. So really good night.
Good.
A really good night last night.
Very good. Let's get right to it tonight. First of all, a moneyline parlay, 2 6 o'clock games. Virginia at home against NC State, and Iowa at home against Maryland. Then you've got to go deep into the schedule, start from the back and come back. Iowa State at home, -9.
Okay.
So that's going to pay you plus 153.
Okay, so Virginia, Iowa, Iowa State on a moneyline parlay.
Yep. Alabama against Auburn at home. Love the home team here.
That's also a unranked favorite over ranked.
It is. Okay. I didn't even catch that. Yeah. Top 10, huh? Is Auburn top 10?
Yeah, Auburn's 8th.
Top 10 in the NET. But they have not played any team of this caliber on the road. So Alabama at home. Look, if Auburn was at home laying 3.5, I'd be laying that too. But I'm thinking Alabama. That's my best bet of the night. And then a road team, Villanova. Love what they, this guy got hurt last year was a big difference. He's back now. They're a big 6-6 kind of point forward. Taking Villanova plus a 3.5 at St. John's, 7:30 game on Fox Sports 1.
Are we buying that to 4?
Always, yeah. There's a lot of people, had the 2.5 last night with Wisconsin, and you buy it. So 4 games on Saturday and another on Sunday fell on that 0.5 point. So, yeah.
All right. So Bama -3, Villanova +4. Again, remember, buy the half a point. And then a money line parlay with Virginia, Iowa, and Iowa State. You also gave us Seton Hall. You gave Muse and I Seton Hall earlier today. What did you like about that game?
Well, Providence has hit the skids. I mean, they were on their way to another tournament appearance. I mean, I think they've been there like the last 8 out of 10 years. And they lost their coach. Cooley's at Georgetown right now in his first year. But about 4 games in the middle of the Seton Hall game when they were at home and about an 8-point favorite, the lead scorer went out with an ACL. He's gone for the year. They haven't won since. So they now they're on the road against a tougher team. I just don't think the odds makers have caught up with his impact. So they're really struggling without him.
All right. Tomorrow, Thursday, downtown Baton Rouge, Jolie Pearl.
Yes, indeed. Jolie Pearl in Town Square Pizza.
1 minute.
I got a client meeting tomorrow for lunch. Otter, we're coming to see you. We're going to come have lunch at Jolie Pearl. So we're going to come see you and Hanny tomorrow. We'll be there, man. We'll be there for lunch. Looking forward to it. All right, Otter. Good luck tonight, man. Thank you.
All right, you too, Matt.
All right, be well. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with 30 offices across 11 different states. They're everywhere. Love telling you the Michelli story. Their main corporate office still in Harahan, 76 years in business now, but they've continued to expand their footprint from sea to shining sea, and they are hiring. You can go to the website at Michelli.com, hit the careers tab. Work in California, Oregon, Florida, points in between, offices all over Louisiana. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. All right, been a great show. Thanks for being here. Thanks to Brandon Saho, Gordon McKernan, Muse Pauly. Appreciate y'all. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
All right, get on down the road, y'all. What a great day it was today. And always love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center. You know, I shared this news with you yesterday if you missed it. Our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center were in Dallas last week at a convention, and they were awarded the Evo ICL Practice of Distinction honor at the Star Surgical Conference in Dallas last week. Incredible. You know, Evo ICL, I've told you about before. Evo ICL is an alternative to LASIK, where ICL is implantable contact lens. They implant a contact lens in your eye. So it's removable, it's reversible, it's all that sort of stuff. But this is a National Practice of Distinction award that the Williamson Eye Center got. They're just the best, not just in Louisiana, in the country. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your